The stream is live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on so many levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay!
Hey. And happy Independence Day to those of you for whom that is a relevant topic. And I can still wish you a happy 4th of July regardless.
Happy Wednesday.
Yeah. Happy Wednesday. Woo.
Yeah.
Happy Wednesday.
So, because of the holiday, lots of people have, disruptions in their schedule. So instead of a regular episode of the campaign this week, we're going to do another one-shot where we let the Heroes of Legend take a break for the week, and we're going to be visiting another part of the world of Sekamian. So, specifically, we're going to jump back over to Villanocta, the city of Villanocta, whom the Heroes of Legend have not visited in quite a while, before Alaric even joined the party, for that matter. They haven't been back since. But, let me introduce everyone, of course. I'm Christiana Ellis. I'm the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, Jason Banks as Orc Dave.
Hello.
Mark Kilfoyle as Galen.
Good day. Good day.
Nobilis as Deuce.
Greetings.
And Spence as Braga.
Hello.
So I think we'll go ahead and jump right in. I've got some opening narration for y'all. So
All right.
everybody knows that gang activity is just part of city life in Villanocta. Maybe if you're rich enough to have protection, or if you live in the palace, you don't have to pay them much attention. For anyone else, though, it's just a survival skill to recognize the various insignia or outfits. You know to look the other way when a rare rat climbs out of a sewer grate. You know that if you see a masked wood elf in the same place as a Knight of the Broken Vow, that's a place that you should vacate for a while. These gangs aren't exclusively criminals. Sometimes they're just like-minded individuals finding strength in numbers, protecting their own from the other gangs. Sometimes, like the Smiths, they are even mostly legitimate employees of mostly legitimate business. The Tarot has not generally been considered one of the major players. Their rigid adherence to theme, wherein every member is expected to adopt the aspects of a tarot card, make them hard to miss. But their erratic activities, often based on what seem to be superstitions and omens, have meant that they sometimes lack the consistency or organization to become a true power in the Villanocta gang scene. Something changed a few weeks ago. The Tarot leadership initiated an aggressive recruitment drive. Some of the previously rigid restrictions on appearance and behavior have been relaxed somewhat, and bigger promises have been made to new members. Growth and expansion of territory may be reasons enough, but the Emperor and Empress have also ominously suggested that a larger force will be necessary in the dark days to come. Each of you, for your own reasons, have been swept up in that recent recruitment. Being new members, you haven't seen a lot of action yet, mostly shadowing the more senior members for guidance and support. A few minor scuffles, some shakedowns, but nothing too serious. In the last couple of days, though, some weird things have started to happen in Villanocta. First and foremost, the Baron's Royal Guard and military have started an aggressive door-to-door search of the entire city. And yet, there are stories of the guards actively ignoring stashes of drugs or illegal weapons and leaving angry but empty-handed. There is forceful pushback against anyone who resists their search, and that has sometimes turned violent, but whatever it is they are searching for, they haven't found it yet, because the search continues. More than those obvious changes, though, there's an odd energy in the air. Something that's hard to put your finger on. Animals acting spooked at nothing. Normally calm people acting twitchy. It's weird. Some sort of tension has been building in the city's subconscious, and nobody knows quite what to do about it. But that's where today's meeting comes in. You've been told to meet at dusk in the back room of the Star Sign Tavern, a regular spot for the tarot. Your senior member, the Sun, is supposed to meet you there and let you know about your next assignment. So this is a pretty standard tavern back room. There's, storage here, casks and barrels and so on. But a few tables, because this is also a meeting place for discussions too private to be carried out in the main room of the tavern. So as you guys have each assembled there at dusk, it's actually pretty quiet at the moment. Could you each please describe your character?
Deuce is a fairly robust human female. She goes about in really ratty clothes that were more like what a beggar might wear, but that's just on the surface. That's just what she wears up over her armor and weapons, which she conceals about her person. And she wears a blindfold all the time, but seems to have no problem seeing in spite of that. There's a rumor that she picked it up somewhere as a minor magical item to help her fit in with her card, which is the Two of Swords. And she is and stereotypically is a two-handed sword fighter.
Great.
So Braga is a half orc. She's about 6 feet tall, and she keeps her hair long and braided with silver clasps in it. And despite her size and strength, she's actually a very good performer. She has a lovely voice, and she usually drums along on her hand drum, which she carries everywhere. And so she's made her way into the hearts of those in the tavern. If she fights, she does carry two. She does typically fight with a rapier and a dagger. And she seems like she's just trying to break the stereotypes of her people. She doesn't really want to just be a warrior like most of her clan.
See, Orc Dave, he's, by his looks, you would say he's a typical looking orc. Very tall, almost 7 foot, very large beard, broad shouldered, muscled. Though he doesn't speak much, but when he does, it's in a very low and rumbling tone. But whenever he does speak or carry out his actions as a cleric, you hear the faint chirping. But you can never tell where it's actually coming from. But those who get to know Orc Dave, they know that he has a nest of beautiful little bluebirds in his beard. And they have some sort of connection with his power to heal and mend those around him. And their rumor has it that he has 4 brothers that are also named Dave that were at one point a part of the tarot, but they were locked up for illegal activities. You could say he's a 4th generation tarot.
Which card?
The Knight of Cups.
Uh-huh. All right. Which card was Braga? I don't recall if you said.
Braga is the 7 of Swords.
All right. Last but not least.
Galen. When Galen moves into a room, there's 2 things that immediately come to mind. A wafting sea breeze and the smell of ale. He may in fact be carried upon the wafting of ale, which seems to permeate him, his clothing. Not in a terrible way. It's a sweet smell, but it's invasive. It may be because his water skin is not filled with water very often. Thin, wiry, with a turquoise-colored skin and electric blue eyes that seem to watch a lot more carefully than his stumbling gait might actually suggest. Dressed in a simple white robe tied with a nice sash and wearing a very thick branch of wood, which is probably the only reason he's still upright most of the time. Speaks in a soft voice with white, soft hair that runs in a queue down his back. He has been known to be aspiring to the fool.
All right. So, you guys have you certainly seen each other around, but you have not previously all been on the same team together. So, you're not entirely sure why the four of you specifically were brought here, but you're just waiting for the sun to show up.
The sun always rises eventually.
And Braga just takes out her hand drum and just starts drumming with her fingers very lightly, but it's kind of passing the time.
Ooh, like a puppet on strings that are made of springs. Galen will dance badly.
Periodically, you see Orc Dave reaching to a small little pouch and then pulling something out and holding it over his beard, where a small little blue face with a beak pops out and nibbles at it and goes back into the beard.
All right, that's really strange. It's Dave, right?
Orc Dave, yes.
You have birds in your beard.
Yes.
Why? I don't understand.
Well, obviously they live there.
And that doesn't get messy?
No more messier than any other endeavor.
I suppose.
They don't mind the blood on occasion.
That's just creepy.
Does your beard bleed, Dave?
Only in the blood of my enemies.
Why would you do that? It seems like a drag.
You seem to be enlightened.
I'm light, that much is true. I don't know if we've met before. I'm Galen. You're humble. Ooh. The world moves too quick for me today. Do you see these kegs? You suppose any of them are open? Or could be?
I mean, they could be.
I don't think the owners of this business would take too kindly of you going into their back stashes.
I think all of you would know that although this is definitely a tarot hangout, the drinks are not free.
Yeah.
Well, only if they're not yours. Then they're fine. I'll wander over and lean up against one of the kegs and kind of put my ear to it and knock a little bit to see how much is inside.
It's full.
Oh, it's fresh too.
Is that good, Grail? I don't know. Is you supposed to age it? I don't know. Anyway.
No.
So how long have you been here ahead of us?
Time is such an immaterial thing. The only thing you have to worry about is when the sun rises and the sun sets.
Are
Everything
you
in between
drunk
is
right
just...
now?
I'm aspiring to that state, usually.
You sound like you're either drunk or high, so I just had to ask.
Well, I might float a little bit, but I am not high at the moment.
I would definitely say he's sustaining what he was aspiring to.
Once you achieve enlightenment, why would you leave? Why are we here? Does anybody know?
I
Time
was
told us to be here.
Yep, I just got a message. I didn't get any details.
Well, see, that's not the why. That's just sort of the mechanism by which we arrive. Something.
Right, and once the sun gets here, we will have our assignment. We can go do the assignment, and then I can get to my gig.
You have a gig?
Yeah,
What kind of gig? Is it large?
I hold up my my drum. I play this, and I sing, and I get paid for it.
Really?
There's less bloodshed that way.
What if people dance? Does that get paid for? Maybe?
If they dance well.
Oh. What's the fun in that?
Well, it is less about the fun for the performer and more about the visual something for the people watching.
Oh,
They
I
don't
see.
pay if they don't like watching you.
What if I like watching them more, but I don't
Then
want
you
to
pay them.
Oh, that doesn't seem to work.
So about then, a half-elf, blonde, very tanned skin, upper 30s, dressed in very shiny, polished brass armor with a vivid red sash over the shoulder, comes in, and you all recognize that this is the son. He is one of the senior members of the Tarot, and he has arrived, and he says, "Greetings, fellow Tarot. I hope that the fates have good fortune in store for you this night."
So do I?
Fortune is as you make it, really. Like, if you don't make a fortune, you're poor.
Well, obviously.
All right.
So
So
I
you're
have
here.
to just say, I know that we have been recruiting lately, and not everything has been explained to you as rigidly as we once would have, but I would urge you to each work on your presence. We do maintain a standard in the tarot. It is one thing to discuss amongst ourselves, but when in public undergoing tarot activities, I do hope that you will present an air of auspicious moments and fate.
Oh, you had
Okay.
me worried because I forgot any presents. But if you want air, I'm filled with it.
Mystic shit. No, I got it. Mystic shit. No problem.
Yes, mystic.
Now,
Yes,
are
well,
you going for the literal translation of who we represent or the personality? Because, when they asked me, I went on personality of the card's meaning as opposed to, just the visual aspect. I mean, if you're going to be deep, you should be deep.
I would absolutely encourage you to go as deep as you feel capable. The goal is to embody the role of this agent of fate represented by the tarot card, and then collectively we will foretell the fortune of the city.
Well, I'm
And
not blinding myself. That's not for sure.
you have the blindfold, I think it's fine, but just work on presentation. All of you have been assembled because we have a task for you.
Right. Good. Let's.
Everyone is aware that the city guards have been searching for something. They are steadfast in their determination to find whatever it is. However, it has not been apparent as of yet what it is they seek. It seems as though the guards know, and yet none of our agents within the guards have been able to give us this information. It is odd. However, we have it on good authority with one of our agents embedded within the Rouge Rogues that two of their members know precisely what the Royal Guard are seeking, and those two members have been hidden away as a result. But we know where. They've
So we're going to interrogate some guards?
not the guards, the rogues.
Oh, right.
The guards that we have interrogated and those who are already on our payroll have had odd answers to the questions. It's as though they only know what they are looking for once they find it. And so they search and just have to rely on the idea that once they find what they seek, they will know. They don't
Sounds
seem
like-
to have conscious awareness of it.
Well,
Sounds
that's
like fate to me, when you're looking for something and then you find it and you weren't even sure that was the thing you were looking for. That's awesome.
Yes, well, the tarot is also about reading the fates so as to make decisions about your future. And as such, we require that information that the Rouge Rogues hold.
All right.
They have been hidden away in the set storage area of the Grand Proscenium Theater. And all of you would know this theater. It's a major landmark in Villanocta. It's a big theater that is in operation. It holds nightly performances. It's currently in the middle of a big play.
It is Braga's dream to perform there someday.
I would imagine it's the most prestigious performance venue in the whole city, for sure.
Braga's eyes go wide. It's like,
Yes. We have been informed that the two rogues are being kept under wraps, kept out of their normal routines, because the information they have come across, however they managed it, is that sensitive. And so, your task will be to make your way to them and obtain the information by whatever means are necessary. You are not directed to kill anybody unless it may be necessary to complete your mission. But the goal is the information, not the death of the rogues.
Is there a time limit on this?
We fear that their current hiding location may be only temporary, and certainly if it were to be known within their ranks that the secret is out, they would move them for certain. So, if at all possible, we would like to move tonight.
is there a performance there tonight?
Indeed, there is currently a performance. There's a current play in the production of. It's about the marriage of King Dominic and Queen Talia 100 years ago. It is.
Could we get invitations or tickets, or should we go as stagehands?
I
Do
would
we have
say
connections in the theater for that?
I would definitely say we would probably fit in more with working behind the scenes, maybe as stagehands, than invited to such an event.
Speak for yourself.
These are good questions. To some extent, it will be left to you to make these decisions. However, I do have some additional information for you. There are 2 entrances and exits on the street level to the theater. The main entrance, which the audience, paying customers, would enter, and the back entrance, which is typically locked and only intended for employees and cast. There is, however, because it is a base of operations of sorts for the Rouge Rogues, there is a tunnel beneath the stage that leads to the sewers. So that might be another means of entry. And of course, there are balconies of sorts on the walls, but 3 stories above the city streets. So, to some extent, it is up to you to determine how you would best prefer to infiltrate, whether you wish to do so while the production is in progress, or whether you would wish to wait until it is complete for the night.
I would say trying to get in through the employee door, would probably be the best way, unless you all wants to traipse through the sewer.
Well, my thought is that this is a Rouge Rogue base. This is someplace they consider secure. I don't think we're going to be able to bluff our way in as staff. They're going to know who works there and who doesn't. So I don't think we could all get in that way. We might be able to get one or two in, but four of us, I don't think that'll work.
I think I need a different perspective. Let's stand on my head. How tall is the building?
The peaked roofs are 6 stories. As I mentioned, there are the balconies, which are sometimes used for loading of cargo into the upper levels. They have a winch and a crane, but they are typically stowed away unless they are actively in the process of loading and unloading. Those are at a 3-story level.
So they won't be loading or unloading while they're playing the play. So those will be untended.
Indeed, but stowed away inside.
Oh, I don't need the equipment. I just need a hole, usually a door or a window.
Am I right in remembering that sometimes for performances they have shorter acts during the intermission or perhaps in the beginning of the show?
So out of character, what you would know is that is sometimes the case. But make an intelligence check.
Okay. That is a 15.
You know that they do typically have opening acts. The current play doesn't, but they do have rotating performers that come out and perform during the intermission. And a lot of the audience kind of goes out into the lobby during the intermission, so it's not like as prestigious as being the main act, but they do have rotating performers that perform that slot.
Okay. So we could always check to see if there's an opening for the intermission performances, and I can have you all as my crew. And she just smiles a big tusky smile because this is like her dream.
I think you have an ulterior motive with that suggestion.
It would get us in the door.
Yes, but it would also get us in the door with people like knowing we're there.
And we would have a purpose there.
Right, and we would be expected to perform that purpose.
Are you saying you doubt my performance skills?
I'm saying that being on the stage won't help us get to our target.
I would also point out that they certainly already have a performer arranged for tonight.
For now.
I'm not sanguine about our chances of talking our way past that.
I don't think she meant talking. I think she meant removing the current talent.
I think that Deuce has stage fright, really.
I just prefer to be a little more subtle, that's all.
I like subtle. Like falling out a window subtle. That's easy.
I think the tunnel is a better idea.
Well, I mean, most theater shows go down the tubes eventually. They don't expect to come up them.
As much as I hate to agree, because the sewer air and water does nothing good for my beard, I would have to agree with Deuce.
But what about from above? What's next to this proscenium for buildings?
It's actually got some gardens all the way around the building, so there's not really any other buildings right next to it.
That's a pity. It's always easier to go down than up. For most of you.
And
when we find this information, who are we bringing it back to?
To me here or any of the other senior membership. If there is some reason to suspect that it would not be safe to bring the information here, there are the usual dead drops. And you guys would know about those. You know, it's just various places in the city where you could leave a message. And as for subtlety, I would remind you that the tarot is not interested in anonymity nor ignominy. We do want to be known. However, we want to be known as effective. So I would urge you, it is not necessary to maintain secrecy at any cost. However, to be discovered and known and fail the mission is unacceptable.
So clearly, I should check to see if I can weasel my way into a performance.
I will leave that to you. Your task has been set, and now the fates will determine the outcome of this night. Farewell, it is time for me to set. And he does this creepy, like slow backwards walk out the same door he came in while he's just making eye contact with all of you. Just, and then he bumps into the frame a little bit and has to adjust.
Yeah, Braga kind of covers her mouth and coughs her laugh.
Very
hope-
deliberate of him, I guess.
I hope he doesn't get eclipsed someday.
Are the puns, do they just come naturally? Or do you do them on purpose?
As natural as air or golden liquid. On both ends. Besides,
While I think that the sewer option is a quote-unquote safer bet, I still think that we should try to find a way in legitimately. That way, if we are found by people who are not the Rouge Rogues, you know, that they won't kick us out on sight.
well, they're being hidden in set storage, are they not? Could we not go in as set?
See?
No. Oh.
So just for the time frame, right now, as I mentioned, you were meeting at dusk, and it's been a little while. So what you know, just in terms of the timing generally, is that right now the play would have started, and it's going to run for a couple of hours before it would finish, and the theater would likely empty out, except for, you know, just a few remaining people. So whether it is something you want to wait until it's more deserted, but more suspicious why anyone would be there, or whether you want to try to use cover of the crowds, however you want to handle it, that's the current time frame.
Would Braga, in her performance background, know what kind of clothing the set hands use? Like, do they dress all in black, or?
Make a history check.
That is a natural 19.
Wow.
Plus 2, so 21.
You know then that there are actually two types of uniforms. The ushers have pretty fancy, like the people who actually deal with the public. Have pretty fancy outfits that are sort of vaguely, military in style, in the sense that they have like epaulettes and gold trim and that sort of thing.
Right.
They're very specific, meaning like it's a specific uniform. However, the people who do work crew behind stage, who don't interact with people, do wear all black.
Okay. Well, let's all. Do you all have black clothes? Like all black clothes?
I have what I have, and the only time it's black is I rolled in the mud. And I don't tend to do that very often because it sticks.
Hmm.
I was going to say we could, pose as stage hands, and they all wear all black.
Yeah, that's another good reason not to try to pose as stage hands. First of all, stage hands don't arrive in the middle of a performance. They arrive long before. people who are building sets and stuff like that, they arrive in the middle of the day. They work in the middle of the day. All the sets that they need out of the set storage are already going to be, near the stage. This is the reason that they're using set storage is because that's not a place you go all the time. It's a place you go in between shows. It's a place you go, when you've taken down one show and you're putting up another one. So it doesn't make any sense to have to try to be anyone who would be going there tonight, because nobody would be going there tonight. It doesn't.
Now, while the actors are on stage, there are people behind the scene who are not actors. The ones forced to pull ropes and make funny noises. Some of them have to move a cabinet from time to time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those people exist, and they are all around the stage.
Well, if you all are going to keep pulling down my suggestions, then I will follow whatever you all want, as long as I can get to my gig.
Let's just see what happens. Okay. The only question in my mind is, do we want to go while there's a performance running and there's lots of people there, or not? I think probably not, because anybody who's going to be there in the middle of the night is more likely to be associated with Rouge Rogues, and as a result, we're not going to be catching any innocents while we sneak in.
I say we use the tunnel while the show is going on and try to get our task taken care of before the end of the show, so that way when the show does end, we can use the crowd as our means of escape.
I think using the tunnel is bound to be a shitty plan, but that's just me.
One thing you guys would generally know is that the sewers, although they are frequently used by all sorts of people who don't want to take the streets for whatever reason, technically there's also a gang called the Rat Pack that is composed of were-rats that does make that their primary turf. So it's possible you would encounter some of them if you go in the sewers.
Where rat? There rat.
So what? So when we have used the sewers before,
Mm-hmm.
did people pay them a toll or?
Well, so probably they
are they so territorial that they just attack on sight?
It would not be an attack on sight sort of thing. However, they would probably want to know what you're up to at least.
So that doesn't sound like the kind of thing that a lot of enterprises would be really happy with.
That's part of why they do it.
Yeah.
But it's not a guarantee that we'll run into any of them. Whereas
yeah, and certainly if they find out about it, that's not as terrible as if the Rouge Rogues do.
Yeah,
yes,
the sewers are so big and labyrinthine that even the gang that spends all their time there can't cover all the tunnels.
Yeah.
Yes, and the likelihood of us running into Rouge Rogues after the show is far higher than during.
Well, I'm just worried about involving someone outside of the gangs, right? Someone who's not, someone who would be missed by by important people, like a famous actor or something like that. So, I'm inclined to go late. That's my thought. I don't.
If we go late, we may be too late if they're going to move. And while the play is on, is the perfect distraction to move a whole lot of people.
Well, we can watch to make sure that they don't, and if they do, then that would be the perfect time to move in.
Where did the sewers open up?
Well, so do you mean like into the theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what the son told you was that there is a tunnel that connects to the backstage area of the theater that also connects to the sewer tunnel.
Do we know where that is?
Yeah. I'll say that you have been filled in on like that piece of information.
I
Yes,
think going during the performance is the smarter plan.
yes. The backstage personnel, along with the crowds at the exit of the play, once it is over, would definitely be a good way to get in and out, as well as much as I detest having to groom my beard so frequently because of the sewer, it would still be our best point of ingress.
All right. If you want to do it that way, we'll do it that way.
There's no progress like ingress.
That one didn't make sense, and I am ashamed of that pun.
Excellent, you're catching on.
Well then, gentlemen, shall we?
So, can you describe what your first steps are? What's the plan?
We're going to go to the sewer and look for the entrance to the Rouge Rogues hideout and go find these people.
All right.
Yeah,
So you're going sooner rather than later.
Indeed.
Yes.
But I would like to keep an eye as we get closer to the actual entrance to the sewers. I'd like to keep an eye out and see if there's any members of the Rouge Rogues or maybe the Rat Pack that are near this entrance, or like someone, maybe if someone's using it or anything like that. Because that would not be good to be like, oh yeah, let's go into this. Oh, hello. What are you doing here?
Do we know what they look like, these Rouge Rogues?
They're hard to miss. They dress in all red, like head to toe.
So if they want to simply blend into a crowd, they just have to put a cloak on.
The Rouge Rogues are not blending into crowd types. It's kind of like their whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then they're going to sneak out. That's convenient.
I mean, it's theoretically possible that they could, if they were trying to be, if they were sufficiently motivated, they could put on other clothes. But as a gang, their concept is not sneaky hide in the shadows. It is, hey, look at me. Ta-da!
Hey, I would never want to harsh their mellow, man. So we're going then.
All right. So, as you are making your way to the nearest sewer entrance, hang on, you know what, I have an ambiance, I think, for the sewers. Sewer, there we are. Oh no, hang on. It's gonna take a second for me to switch over to it. So you guys have an approximate map, meaning to find it, but you're gonna have to have someone make the checks to follow it, to find this location. But there's also the DC of it will, like, the closer you get to the theater before entering the sewers, the easier it will be to find the tunnel, but the more likely you might get spotted by someone on the streets.
Okay. Well, here's the plan. Here's a plan. As far as getting to the sewers are concerned, we're going to go fairly close by. We're not going to spend too much time in the sewers. I don't want to risk coming across the sewer rats if we can avoid it. You guys stay out of sight. I will put on my beggar persona. Have a look. Keep an eye out for a good moment when there's, when you're not being watched, and then signal you when it's time to drop down into the sewers.
All right.
I think I'll put on my drunk persona, and I'll wait for you. I think I'll start now.
Okay, so you guys are making your way relatively close, but some of you just being sneakier while Deuce is kind of open but
yeah.
disguised.
Yes, they're gonna stay out of sight. Back alley type movements. And then when we find the sewer grate that we expect to use, I'll set up as a beggar nearby there and watch for the right moment, and then signal them to come and go down into the sewer.
All right, so is this I'm gonna make everyone else make a stealth check, but for you and your beggar persona, like, do you have proficiency with a disguise kit or anything like that? Otherwise, I might just make it a performance check.
I'm not trying to look like anyone else. I'm just dressed as a blind
Right.
beggar.
Right. I guess
So-
I just mean that for anyone who was perhaps suspiciously watching anyone who comes close,
Yeah.
how convincing are you is the idea, right? So
Okay.
we can make it a
Um,
performance check. That would be sort of the default.
How about deception? Because
Deception,
my performance
yeah,
is much lower.
Yeah, deception is fine. Yeah.
Okay. So
All right. So you guys have made your way, through the streets near-ish. And let's have Deuce make this deception check
yeah,
first.
we're not actually like within sight of the building.
You have there's the main theater building, which is pretty big, and then it has sort of a block's worth of open gardens around it, and you guys are maybe one block past that.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Okay. I rolled a 15. I have a +3, so that's 18.
All right. So mostly you notice anyone who passes by kind of studiously avoids eye contact with you, which
Is
suggests
exactly what I
to
want.
you that that's what you were going for.
Yep.
So this sewer grate is, it does have a grate and it is designed to be lifted, but it is kind of heavy, so it's not necessarily like, quick. So who's opening it?
Not
I
me.
will open it.
All right. So I'm going to have all three of you make a stealth check as you move in to go through this grate and quietly, and have Braga, you make a strength check. And if you have proficiency in sleight of hand, you can add proficiency.
Is this a busy street or a busy area?
It's not that busy. It's late enough that, there's people going around like from bars and stuff like that, but it's not crowded.
So I got a 5 for stealth, and then for my strength check.
And I want to. Okay.
I'm sorry, you said to do a strength check and.
Well, yeah, just do strength or athletics is fine if you have it.
Okay.
The sleight of hand
yeah.
is less important when you rolled a 5 on your stealth.
Well, no, I had a 15 stealth.
Okay, you said 5 though?
I said I have a +5.
Oh, I see. My mistake then. 15 is fine. Yeah, okay. Just roll the athletics. It's fine.
Okay, so with athletics, that is also a 15.
Okay, great. So
And
yeah.
this for +8.
Yeah, you are able fairly easily to lift up this sewer grate and kind of hold it open, and you're able to do so quietly. So can we get stealth from Galen and Orc Dave? If you rolled already, you can use whatever that was. So as far as being crowded too, part of what Deuce was waiting for to give you the signal was that there wasn't really anybody nearby.
Okay. Well, then I suppose I'll do this at this point.
So I got a 7 on my stealth.
All right.
Total?
I'm sneaky.
What did you get, Galen?
23.
Okay, so yeah, I think Braga and Galen both are really stealthy, but probably Orc Dave, as you're moving in that direction, and as you kind of get hit with a little bit of a wave of the smell coming from the sewer opening, the little birds in your beard start going. Beep, 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 beep. And I think that probably does attract a few bystanders kind of just looking over like, what? And what they see when they look over is an orc climbing into a sewer grate with birds in his beard. And then they look the other way and walk faster.
Okay. Well, I will slip down last, and then we can put the grate back in place.
All right.
I told you I don't like sewers.
Really, it's just the birds who don't like it. You seem to be doing fine.
Switching to this sewer ambiance. I actually haven't listened to this one in advance, so we'll see. You guys aren't going to hear it. It's just
It's tabletop audio?
no. This one is in the Sirenscape.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm not able to give you one that you guys can hear, but it sounds good on the final recording on the stream.
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can
We'll
listen back if you want. Is
We'll
what I've
listen
been
to it later and go, holy crap!
Yeah, yeah.
It's like we were really there.
It's not too dramatic, right? It's right now. It's just, it's
Did you hear
mostly
that?
just like slight watery gurgling and stuff like that. So
Sorry.
So you guys have made your way into the sewers, and it's probably not the first time for any of you to have at least have seen some of these tunnels. The sewer system here in Villa Nocta, it's a big city, so it's got a pretty well-developed sewer system. And, a lot of it is not just, for waste, right? It's also storm sewers. So it just means that you do have fairly big tunnels that are dark, sort of ankle-deep water that's pretty gross, but it's not like literally just feces or something. So it is dark, though. Who has dark vision?
I do.
I do.
I think I do, actually.
I don't think Erginasi has
No,
dark vision.
I do not.
Okay, so Deuce and Galen are both effectively blind in the sewers, unless you guys put on a light.
All right, Galen, hold on to my belt.
No.
That is my belt. My belt.
I have to make sure that it's all secure, that's all.
It is very secure. If you do anything like that again,
Oh, sorry. That was my staff.
Right. Never heard it called that before. Oh, wait. Yes, I have.
I need it. It's a medical appliance. It's my third leg.
So, I would assume then that you guys are not choosing to light a light, and you're just going to have Deuce and Galen following.
Yes.
I am. Let's see.
It's nice to just see in the dark for a while. It's quiet.
just let your eyes adjust.
Besides, you don't even see the feces when it's floating. It's much better that way. Like, if I knew what I was stepping in, I'd be awful. I'd be throwing up.
All
You really
right.
smell that?
We're not actually like wading through this water, are we?
No, it's like ankle deep. And
Okay.
and if you kind of walk up like on this, there's sort of a rounded bottom to it, and so
Yeah.
you can kind of walk crooked on the side and not have your feet in the water as much, but
Yeah.
it's kind of awkward to walk that way,
That's what the
especially if you
staff-
can't see.
That's what the staff is for. It goes in the water so I don't have to.
All right.
So that's what we're doing.
Okay, so you guys are making your way through, so I'm going to need one of the two people with dark vision to make a survival check to try to follow your map. Now, you weren't too far, so you have a general sense of what direction you were trying to go, but I need, it is a sort of maze of tunnels under the streets here.
Orc Dave, what do you think?
Orc Dave can handle this.
Are you referring to yourself in the third person? I can't handle more weird today.
Galen kind of has a monopoly on that.
I'm a 7-foot tall orc with birds in his beard. How much weirder can you get?
Have you seen Galen?
Not at the present, he hasn't.
He can see because he's got dark vision.
Oh, ignore that gesture then.
So someone making a survival check. I suppose since the two of you can both, if you're like helping each other, I'll let one of you roll with advantage.
I will assist Orc Dave.
Okay.
I have an 18.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
not too bad. You are pretty confident in your navigation, and you know that you're not too far. But as you guys are making your way through the tunnels, are you being stealthy? In which case, can I get another stealth roll from each of you?
Yes, we are, and yes.
Let's hope Orc Dave can do better.
I suppose.
A 21.
Aw,
Well done.
I only
17.
got 11 this time. It's the splosh every time the staff goes in the water.
Yeah, and because of that, I got a 12.
All right. Okay. So I think as you guys are making your way through, what you're getting pretty close, but then you hear kind of echoing through the tunnel from an unknown direction, because sound gets weird down here when it carries, as you hear a collection of nasally voices singing. When you're a rat all the way from your first cursed bite to your last dying day.
Oh, and Braga knows this song.
Yeah. Well, and you guys know too that that's part of the whole Rat Pack thing, is that they think it's scary to sing at people.
Can I counter sing at them?
Sure.
I
What
look
are
back
you are you singing the same song back at them, or what are you going to sing?
You know, it
You
occurs to
You
me
don't
that
have to actually sing it. You can roll a performance check if you prefer.
Sing off in the sewers.
Wait. I'm just trying to remember how the rest of the song goes.
Well, I've got more verses of their song, but
Okay. Well, I'm going to counter sing. When you're an orc, they can do what they will. Little rat, you'll be squished. Little rat, I will kill.
oh dear!
all right. Well, that's
I think-
impressive.
I think we just
Braga,
got
SWAT, what are you doing?
I will let you. You can have that be an intimidation check if you like.
Okay. I mean, my performance is better.
Well,
Can I-
but yeah. So performance will make it. So I guess here's how I'll treat it. Performance would be if you like want to impress them with your singing. Intimidation is if your intent was to have them leave you guys alone because
Okay.
you're scaring them away.
So I'll use intimidation, which is still good because it's
Alright.
charisma based. And ooh, that's gonna be nice. So that's 25.
Whoa!
I
Can
rolled
I-
an 18.
Okay, so that you hear kind of a pause after that, but then you do hear a voice just kind of yell out, is just saying, what do you guys think you're doing here, huh? What do you think you're doing, coming through our sewers?
Let's just keep going.
Can I see if they don't have any light or anything like that
No,
coming
of
from
course
they don't.
their direction?
No, basically you're not even 100% sure what direction they're coming from, because you're in kind of like this four-way intersection part of the tunnels right now, and you're getting sound echoing from somewhere, but it's a little bit hard to tell which direction.
We're just making our way to a destination. Keep practicing your song. It's coming along really well.
Don't condescend to us. So
No,
what?
that was actually I'm a performer, as you can tell, and the sound of your harmonies are doing really good.
Yeah, you think so? I mean, we've been working on it, but not everybody's got the natural skills.
Well, not everybody's got the natural skills, but your work is paying off, and you're starting to listen to each other, and that's really the key when you're singing with an ensemble.
I wonder, you guys obviously you're on your way to a destination, and normally we would take an interest in finding out just exactly what destination that is and whether it is in the interest of the Rat Pack. But let's make a deal.
Oh, you got a deal?
You
I like deals.
you give us a quick singing lesson in person, face to face, and we let you pass, and let's leave it at that, huh?
Like right now.
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right, I'm down with this.
I mean, the acoustics down here are fantastic. So
They are. They
Right?
really are. This is the perfect place for practicing.
Okay, so basically, you guys here, not especially trying to be stealthy anymore, but you guys here approaching, and you eventually, those of you who can see in the dark, see 4 were-rats approaching, and they're short by human standards, and they are in their hybrid form, meaning, furry, sort of rat-like snouts and ears and big buck teeth, wearing pretty simple clothes. A lot, the 3 of them have a big, like, knee-high, like, rubber waiter boots on. And one guy looks miserable, like he forgot his today. And so they come along, and they're approaching warily, because it's one thing when you're yelling down a tunnel, but it's another thing when you're actually coming up on them.
So Braga steps in front of everybody and hands Galen off to Orc Dave.
hey, this is an entirely different kind of belt. Is that suede?
No.
Is that your beard? It's so soft.
Thank you.
So, what outfit are you guys with? I mean, are you here down for some sort of job or what?
Oh, we're with the tarot. We've got a couple of things that we're working on. We just have to get someplace discreetly and quickly, and so we had to come and trespass on other people's territory. But I'm happy to pay that toll for a singing lesson.
Well, that would be great, but and I don't mean this with any disrespect. It's just a sincere question here. Like, how serious is that tarot thing? Because my encounters with tarot in the past, they seem like they take it super seriously. I mean, really?
I mean, all of us find aspects of ourselves in the cards, and then we just, really try to embody it. I mean, I know he can't see you, but you see the one over there with the blindfold on? He doesn't need to wear a blindfold, but that's just his persona.
She actually, Deuces.
Oh, she. I am so sorry. She doesn't have to wear that, but that's just her persona, and she just rolls with it because that's who she feels most connected to.
That seems like it would be inconvenient for fighting.
I'm assuming she can see through it. I mean, she survived this long.
All right, well, I'll take your word for that. But well, we were really interested in what you were saying about listening to each other. I mean, that's something I think it's been what we struggle with. And so we're not going to necessarily role play out a whole singing here, but what we can say is that you guys are maybe going to spend half an hour doing just a little crash course.
Yeah.
Thanks. It really helps to just get an outside perspective. When we're all singing, it's hard to hear what it sounds like to other people, right?
Oh yeah. Well, here's what I'll do. I'll come back in a few days because I know a guy who has a tuning fork, and you bang it on the wall, and then you all kind of focus on that tone, and then you can build your harmony from there. And that way, you'll all be on the same key, and it'll be great.
I'm going to make a counter proposal for you, and
what?
I want you to take some time and think about this, okay? Because your first reaction is probably going to be no, but I want you to really think about it, okay?
Okay.
We could make you a were-rat, and you could join the Rat Pack. We got some good stuff going on down here.
It is tempting, and I will need to think it over. Give me a couple of days to get you that tuning fork anyway, and then I'll give you an answer when I come
Okay,
back.
that goes for any, I mean, it's comes with some perks, like a lot of people find they enjoy it a lot more than they expected to when they get the curse. So just saying.
Well, thank you for the consideration. And I'm Braga, by the way, and she holds out her hand.
Nice to meet you, Manny.
Hi, Manny. Well, we do have to be on our way. We do have a little bit of a schedule to keep. I'm playing at one of the local taverns late tonight, so, you can certainly come and check out my performance.
Oh yeah? Oh, that's great. Maybe we'll do that. We'll shift into a human form first. of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. But I hope I'll catch you later.
All right. Okay, so yes, you guys successfully navigated that encounter.
You just had to get a performance in somewhere, didn't you?
It's what I do, darling.
All right, so you guys move. You leave the cheerful were-rats behind, and as you pass, you hear them, singing the improved. When you're a rat, let them sniff what they can. You got brothers around. You're a family rat. And they're better. But
they're not as bad as I have heard about the Rat Pack, actually.
I'm pretty sure that all of that was just a long tail.
Oh my goodness. But you can never judge books by their cover. And that's entirely what I'm about. It's all about me doing more for my persona in the tarot.
And not any chance for you to get a performance in.
I mean, there's that too.
So, you guys find your way to this tunnel entrance. You can see that there is worked into the side of the tunnel something that was clearly added after the original construction of the sewer, because it is a finely mortared door, not a grate or anything, but you can see how the original wall was tunneled into and then finished with new masonry. And the door is locked. It's a fairly standard, like, wooden-looking door. It's not too sturdy necessarily. I mean, it's a door, but it's not like steel or stone or anything.
Is there any evidence that there's light behind it?
Make a perception check.
You rolled an 18 plus 5 is 23.
Yes, there does seem to be light behind it. Not a lot, but compared to the total darkness outside.
Yeah, so there's
You
a
can
little
kinda
bit of
see-
a glow kind of peeking
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
Okay.
Can I want to inspect the lock? Maybe see if I'm not proficient in this, but I'll see if looks like it's trapped, or if I can
Okay.
maybe pick the lock.
I'm proficient, but I will need some light, which is why I didn't want to turn one on if there was no light on the other side.
Oh, well,
If we can have a little bit of light, I can try.
can I, if I peek through the keyhole that he see the light through, can I see what source it is? Is it like a candle or a torch?
I don't think you can see through it that clearly. It's not a lot of light though, so it's either perhaps a torch that's like further away from the door, or something, like a candle nearer by.
Could I, since I can see it, at least see the light, can I brighten it some with my thermatology?
That's not going to help. That's not going to help.
Well, I think
That's-
if anything, that would put light on the other side more, which wouldn't
Yeah.
really help you pick the lock from this side.
Right. No.
I mean, you
make
can
a-
still make an investigation check as to the nature of the lock if you like.
Are the hinges on this side or the other?
They're on the other side.
Does it look like a well-built door?
Make an investigation check.
Probably is.
Well, okay. First of all, you can't make an investigation check because unless you're feeling it with your hands, because it's still total.
I actually am.
Okay.
I'm proficient with carpenter's tools. I build things.
All right. I'll allow it then, I guess.
This is a fine wood here.
Is this one hollow? No beer inside.
Like it's not meant to be a fortified door, but it is well constructed. It is wooden with steel hinges.
One thing I can definitely tell you about this, it's a door. Beyond that is probably a room.
Thanks.
Your insight
I do what I
is,
can.
of course, obvious.
It's all I can do in the dark. I mean, you all came here for a travel. I came for the view.
Okay. Well, if nobody's going to make a light, then I'm just going to have to wait till you guys deal with the door.
Well, I don't have the means to make a light, so
I mean, I can make light, but I could probably use it that way. Let's see. If he doesn't look directly at me, if I use the Word of Radiance, which is one of my cantrips, it causes a light that any creature I point to sees and causes damage, but it's still a light. So could I use that as long as I'm not directing it at him?
Maybe I'm looking it up here.
Well, technically, Deuce isn't looking because they got something over their eyes.
Yeah, I would say that that's going to cast light. So you can essentially, well, hang on. Burning radiance erupts from you. Each creature of your choice. Boy, that's a weird spell. It's hard to like. That's a. I feel like
I
yeah.
glow, maybe? Harshly, though?
I feel like the way I would interpret that is that essentially you glow with like a fiery light, and the way that we interpret each creature of your choice is that like the people you would choose to know to avert their eyes.
All right.
And so what I would interpret then is that you can cast that light on it, but it's only going to last a few seconds.
I'll take a. You guys, I'll take a torch out of my pack and light it.
Now you can all see my torchlight. It's a door.
I hand it to Dave and say, "Hold this." All right.
I hold the torch. I'm just like, sorry, I'm a cleric.
I look over the door and I see if I can find things like tripwires, alarm things, that kind of thing.
Okay, make an investigation or perception, I guess.
Okay. Got 11 plus 5 is 16.
Yeah, you see that there is actually a little bit of a trap on the lock that is not designed to hurt anything, but it seems like it's just designed to trigger some sort of a device on the other side of the door.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. And then I will try to see if I can disarm that.
Okay. Make a... you have the Thieves' Tools proficiency, I assume?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, alright. Then make a Thieves' Tools check.
Okay. That's dexterity plus
Proficiency.
proficiency. So, 22.
Yeah. You are able to, with sort of a little staple, able to, pin the wire that would break normally and pin it to the door so that it will stay intact when you open the lock.
Okay. And next we'll work on the lock.
All right.
Are you doing okay with that?
And rolled a 24.
All right. Yep. No problem. This is
Looks like
not
you're fine.
a terribly difficult lock.
All right. Now everybody quiet. And going to give the door just a little bit of a pull. No, the hinges on the other side. Just a little bit of a push to see if there's any kind of creaking in the hinges.
A little bit, not too bad. I mean,
Okay.
it's relatively quiet, but it's not silent.
Okay. Then I will slowly push it open, just wide enough for us to get past.
All right.
Make the minimum amount of noise.
Yep.
And peek through.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Before I do that, put out the torch.
Okay. So you put out the torch. It's dark again. As you attempt to open the door enough to sort of peek in, make a stealth check.
Okay. 21. I'm rolling really good this night.
Yeah. So you are able to be very quiet. You are able to sort of press your hand on the door in the right place to sort of ease the creaking of the hinge a little bit. And as you open it up, you do see that there are some hooded lanterns on a table about 15 feet away from the door that are lit, and that was what was giving off kind of the low light. So this room is dimly lit.
Okay.
But you see that first that the wire leading from the lock led up to what looks like a fairly it looks like well made but not fancy trap that looks like it's designed to take just a crate full of glass bottles and just drop it onto the stone floor.
Okay.
So it's like it's not ornate, but it looks like it would definitely function if it was hadn't been disarmed. So you are able to peek in. The room is deserted. It is just sort of a little antechamber that looks like doesn't have really anything in it except the table, which has the lamp on it, and then stairs that lead up.
Okay. Whisper to them. All right. Come on in. The coast is clear.
Can I get a stealth check from everyone else?
Right.
17.
17 as well.
Natural 20,
Nice.
so 26.
All right, you guys are being pretty stealthy as you sneak in to this chamber. I assume close the door again. Do you undisarm the trap, or do you leave it disarmed?
The trap is on the lock, right?
Right.
It's not on the door itself. If you're operating the door,
you can tell that it's basically designed to alert them if someone picks the lock.
okay. So
But
if
you
we
were
are
able
on
to
our,
disarm it so that it didn't do that.
so if we were going on our way out, we could go past because the lock. If it was not locked, we could get out without setting it off.
Correct.
Okay. Is it a deadbolt or does it have a key on both sides?
It's got a deadbolt on this side.
Okay, so we could from this side you can just turn the crank to open it up.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I will okay.
How about this? Why don't you
Okay.
hook it to something else so that anybody else tries to disarm it or come through? We know where not to step, but they don't.
I'd rather leave as little trace as possible. Orc
Wow.
Dave, just hold that back so that it doesn't crash down if I screw this up, and I'm gonna undisable the trap.
All right. It's a little bit too high to just reach, but you could probably balance on the table, drag the table over and stand on it.
Oh, it's that high up, huh?
It's about 10 feet off the ground.
Orc Dave is 7 feet tall.
Yeah, 10 feet tall.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess so. All right, I'll allow it.
All he has to do is prevent it from falling. He doesn't
Right.
have to
Well,
like.
so
hold it.
basically, it is a crate full of bottles that you can kind of get your fingers on, which means that it's not a for sure. Like if it were to just drop, you're not.
I'll reach up with my quarterstaff and put
All
one.
right.
spindly
Okay.
little
Well,
arm
between
within
the two of you guys, then yeah, I think you've got it covered.
Okay, so I'll try. Do I need to roll then?
Yeah, make another.
Okay, 23.
Yep, it's fine. You're able to
Okay.
restore it as though nothing had ever happened.
Pass without trace.
the hard way.
All right, so you guys are all in this little chamber. You have successfully so far infiltrated with no apparent, no one aware.
And there's light on this side.
It's dimly
right.
lit. There's a hooded lantern. It's got kind of a, the
Shutter over it, yeah.
low light setting.
And do the stairs lead up from this room, or is it like down a hallway?
No,
and then up?
it's basically you've got a small room here with stairs that go up.
All right. Let's sneak up the stairs.
I'm going to take the lantern.
Okay. Are you leaving it on the dimly lit setting?
For the moment.
Okay. So as you make your way up these stairs, you really only go up about 15 feet before it enters into. There's another door, a simple door that's not locked, if you, I'm going to assume you went through it because there's nothing special about it. You see that you are now in a sort of slightly dusty, but you can see that there's path through the middle of this tunnel where people must come through frequently, but it's just not really cleaned frequently. It looks like it's just an access tunnel for cast and crew to be able to get from one side to the other without having to go through the the theater or the audience and that sort of thing. But as you are entering this part of the tunnel, I'd like everyone to make a perception check.
Okay. Oh, not rolled so well that time. I got a 10.
16.
24.
An 8.
All right. So both Braga and Galen, you're able to hear kind of muffled and rumbly through the ceiling, but you can hear sort of the muffled sounds of voices. First a man's voice and then a woman's voice, and then you all hear sort of a bit of rumbly, muted laughter. You can tell that the play is still going on, and you must be beneath the auditorium.
Braga looks up wistfully.
Don't worry, they're not half as good as you say.
This is a pretty narrow tunnel. It's probably only like maybe 6 or 7 feet wide. It's really only intended to just let people come through. The ceiling is probably only about 8 feet. It's a functional only, but there are basically just periodically along the wall, there's just bits that seem to be glowing patches of paint that are giving dim light in the tunnel.
Oh, okay.
It
That's convenient.
might be magical. You guys could investigate it further if you care, but it's
No.
basically dimly lit for that.
Now, does this tunnel look is like a continuation of the just from the stairs we were on, or does it go in either direction? Do we have a?
So you have entered through this door and now can turn left or right in this tunnel.
Okay.
Did they on our map? Did they also give us kind of a rough outlay of where they think the two are being held?
No, what you have been told is that they are in set storage, but no further information about the interior.
Hey Braga, you know a little bit about the theater. Do you have any idea where which way we go for set storage?
That is an excellent question. Do I?
I mean, I think right now it's almost more of a question of like you guys kind of got turned around a fair amount in the tunnels, so you can have someone make a survival check to try to see like if you can get a sense of left versus right, like what directions are those in relation to the building.
The glowing marks on the wall, are they words at all? Do they indicate stage left and stage right, maybe?
They're just patches of like square patches of glowing paint.
Bummer.
So I will go ahead and make that survival check to try to figure out where we are.
Okay.
I choose left and start going in that direction.
I
I close off the lantern.
I got a 19.
Okay, you know that to the left, like if you imagine the building itself and the front entrance where the audience would enter and go into the auditorium, and then the back where the stage would be, left goes to the back.
Okay, left.
Okay. Then we'll go.
Let's go
I
left.
will close off the lantern too, so it's dark.
Okay. Well, it's still dimly lit because the paint.
Yeah, the lantern though is not emitting light.
Okay, great. So you're making your way through this tunnel. It's pretty quiet for the moment, but then you reach after about 40 feet. You reach a split where you can again turn left or right.
Left.
Okay, then. We'll follow Galen.
It's all going to
That
lead
makes
somewhere. As long as we don't find ourselves on the outside of the building, we're in the right place.
All right. So you turn left, and you have made your way about 20 feet. You can see that you are getting close to where the tunnel ends, and on the right side at the end is what looks like another passage. And you can generally hear that the sounds of the stage of the production are getting marginally louder as you've made your way in this direction.
Louder. Okay.
Liquid set storage by the stage.
Well, look, we'll no, set storage. That doesn't necessarily mean it's anywhere near the stage.
I think,
But-
Braga, you would probably know that, at least assuming that this theater, which I would say you've probably maybe attended shows here. But and based on other theaters, you might suspect that where they would have set storage would be designed to be where they could bring stuff to the stage without too much intervening distance, right?
Oh, come on.
Yes.
Let's be real here. We know that Braga has the plans on her wall back at the room, lovingly adorned with all the sets that she wants to lay out.
Right, because that's what theater nerds do, is have blueprints of theater buildings on their wall.
Technically, it's a bunch of set lists and then designs for the sets that I want to have behind each song, and goblins, and maybe a couple of gnomes come out and do juggling bits while I'm singing. It's a whole ordeal. But anyway, so I am going to lead the group to where I believe the set door should
Well,
be.
so you're still in the tunnel for now.
Yeah.
I'm just in terms of kind of having a general sense of what you'd be looking for. Is kind of
Well,
what
yeah.
I
Well,
was establishing.
let's go to that passage there and peek
Right.
around and see what's there.
Yeah.
And if we encounter anyone, just follow my lead.
Well, as it happens, just as you are getting close to that corner, you encounter someone. It is someone. It is a woman dressed in an elaborate, fancy, ornate, like royal gown, and wearing a crown. And she is in a hurry, and so much so that she rushes around the corner and crashes right into Galen, who seems to have been in front.
Oh, hey, good to meet you. I think you got to go that way.
Braga helps her up and scoots everybody out of her way.
What? Who are you? What are you doing down here?
I'm sorry, we're assistants. Do I know who the main actor is?
Well, make an intelligence check.
This is gonna be terrible. Okay, not that bad. 14.
Okay. You don't recognize this actress specifically, or were you trying to recall like the name of the lead in this
The
particular
name of
play?
the lead, yeah.
I mean, you're
I
a
want to pass
performer,
us off.
but
I want to pass us off as couriers with a message for him as soon as he gets off stage.
okay. I think. Yeah, I don't think a 14 gives you a name. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we-
you like. Oh, you know who it is. Oh, it's on the tip of your tongue. Oh, who's
Right.
that guy? That's what you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have a message for him, and these are my bodyguards.
Wait, what?
And-
Wait,
Yes.
what?
So anyway,
What are you talking about? We're in the middle of a
I'm sorry,
production.
you
You
probably
need to
need
go
to
to the
get back
crew
on set.
entrance, as just like any other courier. What are you doing? This is.
I know, we got turned
You know,
around.
people
I'm
come
really sorry.
rushing through here, and we're in a hurry. Like
I
you're.
know,
I
I'm
just.
so sorry. I'm so
just
sorry.
like-
If,
Ma'am, if you're in a hurry, shouldn't you be on your way so you don't miss your mark?
Make a persuasion check. She looks mad that you have said that to her, but at the same time, you might be right nonetheless.
Can I assist him with that? Because that's where I was going.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. And while they're doing that, and she's distracted at least a little bit by that, I'm going to get behind her and look around the corner to see what's down that way.
I'm just going to continue to walk down.
21.
Okay. She looks really irritated, like she is not satisfied with your answer to any of her questions, but she does actually really need to go. So, but she does hurry off.
Wait, one second, and I adjust her tiara so that it sits correctly. You're good.
She kind of does not look happy, but she does hurry off. And actually, as she is hurrying off in the other direction, you hear her kind of humming under her breath, and she kind of just and you guys, I need all of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, dear.
Wisdom. Okay.
Yeah.
20.
14.
I got an 8.
Let's say. That would be a 23 for me.
Okay, so the rest of you feel a weird little wave of something that is hard to, like, wait, what was that? But Deuce, you, in a strange, like, disorienting flash, have mental images of a wood elf in yellow robes, a tiefling with red and black coloration, a high elf, a white-haired human, and a fox-like creature, and it's just suddenly like flashes before your eyes, and then it's gone.
Well, that was weird.
Yeah,
I know,
it's a
she was
catchy
totally
little
out of
song
tune.
though that she was singing. It's catchy, kind of stuck
she's
in your
out of-
head a little bit.
I think she uses words that she just made up.
All right. Well, let's just keep on going.
We should be wary of her if we come across her again.
I'll give her a bad review.
If one of you wants to make an insight check about her attitude, I mean, she seemed mad as she was.
Sure.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll do it.
A natural 20, so 25.
Yeah, you guys, she was completely unsatisfied with your answers to her questions, and just because she's in a hurry doesn't mean she's not going to tell somebody she saw strangers in the tunnel.
Oh, we should have given her our names. Then we wouldn't be strangers.
Uh,
That's the thing.
So I guess we're done before the play is over?
So
Yeah,
the
we're still.
yeah,
so,
the performance is still going,
um,
although
so
it's a
I
couple of
keep
hours
leading-
in at this point.
I keep leading them toward where the set area would be.
I'm sure it's just down here.
Yeah, as you guys turn that corner that you encountered the actress around, there is basically a short, 2-level set of stairs, and you see that you emerge in the backstage area, stage left, and you are a ways away, meaning that you can see, like, off to your right, you can see where, like, the curtain is, and you can see some lights and you hear the play in progress. But it's dark, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of people immediately at this area.
So
But-
do the ceilings open up quite a bit from here?
Yes. So as soon as you've come up out of these stairs, it's very high ceilings. You can see actually up in the distance. You can see, like the top of the curtains and the mechanism that runs it. You can see a ladder that leads up to some catwalks, and you can see, an elaborate area where the stages, the set machinery, like the various set pieces, are back here, and you see a few people. No one seems to be paying any attention to you at the moment, but there are people around, and they seem all occupied. Most of them are in all black, but a few of them were wearing elaborate costumes.
This doesn't look like the right way.
We could have worn elaborate costumes and fit in.
I think we need to go back the other way.
That only works if you're actors.
Well, there's the stage, so the back of the stage should be over there. I'll go over there.
So you're just making your way in. Are you trying to be stealthy, or are you just walking in like you own the place?
I'm not appearing to be stealthy, but I will be. I stumble every once in a while when someone looks in my direction, hiding behind a curtain. There's a piece of rope that happens to fall at the right time.
Well, go ahead and make a stealth check then.
Well, I'll attempt that anyway. Let's see what actually happens.
Yeah.
Nope, that doesn't actually happen like that.
Okay.
What actually happens, I walk across and I walk into the bit of curtain I meant to hide behind. My stealth was 10 total.
Okay. Yeah, so I think the rest of you are probably kind of huddled at the stairs, sort of whispering to each other, and Galen just makes his way up there, and he just kind of, I think when he maybe turns to look at you guys, his hip just kind of bumps the corner of a table that seems to have a number of prop weapons on it, and just kind of jostling it, and a guy dressed in all black just kind of wanders over, is like, "Hey, don't touch that!" You know, in like the elaborate sort of harsh.
What kind of prop weapons are they?
There's a bunch of mostly short swords, but there's a shield as well, and a pike that's propped against the wall next to the table.
Well, that pike sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go pick that up.
Okay. I think this guy though is just like, "What are you doing?
Do you need this? I hand it to him.
Get out! And
Is the bar back here?
Okay. Well,
what are the rest
well,
of
he's
He's sufficiently distracted so the rest of them can sneak through, which is my real intention here.
Yeah.
well, that's assuming we're going through. Let me make sure I have the
Right. So
the straight is that when we went back we went back this way, we went left. We could have gone right,
mm-hmm.
and that would also have been in the back of the house. So I'm actually thinking that we do not need to go through this area. We need to go back the way we came. So
Do I see a path that would lead down from here, or would or to maybe where they might have someone stored, like say another set of stairs or another passage?
Well, so basically, now that you have emerged and you can see the stage, you can understand that the left versus right that we're just discussing it's apparently a tunnel designed to allow the actors to go from stage left to stage right without either crossing the stage or having to go back through where all of the set mechanics are. It's just an access tunnel, and so it would be stage left versus stage right, but you don't on this side see any doors that lead to any obvious other area from here, other than going out on stage.
Then we need to go back the way we came.
Indeed.
So in the meantime, this guy, the prop master, is doing his best to communicate how angry he is without making any noise, but he is just
Can't hear you.
he's waving over some other people like,
Do you need help? I
he's
can give you a hand.
he tries to grab you and to like maneuver you away from the table.
Okay, I'll lean into him and try to grapple him back.
Okay. So
Okay. So while
so I
he's
guess-
blowing the whole operation, I'm gonna head back towards stage right.
Okay, so the rest of you then are making your way back through the tunnel. We're going to first resolve his attempt to grapple you, Galen.
Okay.
So
Before
he gets a 4. So you want to you can roll athletics or acrobatics.
Uh, 21.
Yeah. Okay. So he
So I'm
He
entangling him up as we sort of grapple together.
Right. So this is definitely like he goes to just like get his hands on your shoulders to just like kind of move you away, and you just kind of apparently just sort of stumble and reel just exactly out of the way.
Do I see where the rest of them are? Are they going through or are they retreating?
You probably noticed them go back down the stairs that you had just come up.
All right.
Did you try to grapple this guy back?
Yep.
Okay. Make
Braga does like turn and kind of gives him the come on, let's go.
You mouth the words.
No, I use my hands to like beckon you.
Oh, okay.
Now, once we're a little ways, not like super far down, but so where I can still see him and his antics.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my. Let's see where I go. I'm gonna use thaumaturgy to cause my voice to kind of to emanate near him so he can hear me.
Okay.
Because I can instantaneously I can move my voice, but
Is that
it's
what
just
thaumaturgy does?
it's a few different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, let's go.
Using thaumaturgy to expand your voice to whisper.
Yes, let's go. I mean, I could make it loud, or I could.
Create an instantaneous sound that originates from a point of your choice. Yeah, I suppose. And you're like, okay, yeah. You can
It's
do
an
that.
ominous whisper of "Let's
Yeah.
go."
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you hear that whispered in your ear, Galen. As were you trying to grab this guy back, or what? What are you doing here?
I just want to have him turned around and facing the curtain as I walk away.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess make an athletics grapple against his, just to try to maneuver him.
Natural 20. I'm keeping this
Oh
die.
yeah. I literally just rolled a natural 20 for him too, but he's
Oh.
got no modifier. So what's your modifier?
23 for acrobatics.
Okay. This guy, you can tell that even though you managed to do what you're trying to do, as you're kind of like feeling this guy's shoulders and back, like he must be a dancer or something, because he's pretty, he's pretty good on his feet and lithe and capable as well. You underestimated him a little bit maybe, but you were nonetheless, because he was not expecting it, underestimating you. Yeah, you managed to basically just get him like turned around so he's looking away from you.
You have work to do, and I go running in the other direction. And I move pretty quickly, so
Yeah. So yeah.
Stage right.
Yeah, so I think so he kind of ends up turned around like, "Wait, what? Make a another stealth check to see if you are able to get down the stairs before he sees where you went."
I am definitely keeping this die. I can show you with the camera if I need to. This is ridiculous. That's another natural 20.
Wow.
I'm a little nervous. Is this going to come crashing down like last time?
Yeah, this is pretty soon this theater's going to have ghost legends about it. Yeah. Okay, so the rest of you were you waiting for Galen or no? Or
I
were you-
was because I couldn't cast on the move.
You see
Okay.
Galen kind of stumble backwards from him, flailing his arms. Then he pushes down on the staff. Managed to somehow kind of flip over and around the staff and end up the stairs.
All right, so Braga and Deuce, were you hustling to the other end of the tunnel, or were you waiting at the bottom of the stairs?
I
If Deuce was hustling, Braga was in the middle. Like keeping an eye on Deuce, but making sure that Orc Dave didn't completely lose sight.
yeah,
Well,
I'm not going that fast, especially since everybody else seems to be hanging back. So
We've already gone this way, Orc Dave. Why would we go here again?
Because there was no way out other than the stage.
The
I
other
don't
side
know.
of the stage and the back of the stage. Upstairs.
we're not going on the stage, either of you.
I think before any of you could make your way to the other end of this tunnel, you see coming down the stairs from the other end is a couple of men in crew uniforms who come down, and there's nowhere to hide. This is a 7-foot wide tunnel that goes straight to the other end, except for the passage in the middle, and just they look at you, and they're still being quiet, but they kind of just like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
Shouldn't you be working? Like, I know I'm not supposed to be working. You should be
And I-
working.
And I'm like, I think the guy with all the prop weapons needed you guys in a hurry.
Look, you guys are not allowed to be back here. I don't know what you think you're doing, but you need to go back to where you came from. And if you have official business, you need to go through the crew entrance outside. Or my guess is you guys don't belong here at all. So what are you doing?
Well, you see, we were here delivering a message. We got turned around, and so we'd really like some directions to get back to the crew entrance.
While that conversation distracting them, I'm gonna try and get behind these guys.
Okay.
And I'm just going to use a non-lethal attack and try to knock them out.
Okay.
I
So
really wanted to persuade them that that's what we were doing.
It wasn't gonna work.
all right. Well,
You don't know. My persuasion is super high.
all right. So I think, make a stealth check to try, with advantage, to try to get around because she is distracting them to aid,
Okay.
but to get around to where they're not gonna see this coming.
20.
Okay, yeah, you're able to get around behind them. They're kind of befuddled, but she's the one talking. So, like, what you guys? What are you doing? And so I guess, like, you're not a rogue, so it's not like sneak attack,
No,
right?
no,
It's
no sneak attack. I'm just,
all right, just-
yeah.
All
It was a
right,
surprise.
yeah. Go ahead and roll an attack with advantage because they definitely don't see it coming.
Okay.
How many guys is it?
It's two guys.
You guys. And I'm using the hilt of a short sword
Okay,
here,
so non-lethal damage.
non-lethal, yeah.
Right, okay.
So I got hold on, let me make sure my bonus. Yeah, 19.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
And let's see. 8 damage.
Okay, yeah, this guy's out like a light.
Okay.
But the
And
other guy's like, what?
I get 2 attacks
Okay.
around. So
All right,
the
yeah.
other one's a 21
Yeah.
and 4 damage.
Okay. That guy is not out immediately.
Hold on.
Okay.
Action surge.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
21. Another 8 points of damage.
Wow. Okay, that'll do it. So you guys watch as Deuce kind of just slips around behind these two guys, and just with the 2 short swords, is like one
Yep.
on each guy, maybe.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, just kind of just punk, and the first guy just crumples to the ground. The other guy's starting to turn around, gets one of the temple, and you can see blood immediately start to drip down, and he's dazed, like, wait, what? Yeah, so these two guys have both flopped down to the unconscious.
All right. There's no
Well, that
place
was
to hide.
totally unnecessary. I was very close to persuading them to let us go and give us directions to where we needed to be.
Besides, they're missing 2 people on the stage now.
No, they're crew.
These guys
They're
were
black.
in the all black of the crew.
Oh, they're missing 2 people in the crew then.
Yeah. But there's no place to hide them down there, so we need to move. And
The only
I'm gonna put-
place would potentially be because right now, like, there's the tunnel that's in this direction, but
Oh,
there
yeah,
was the perpendicular tunnel that you came from originally. So there's nowhere to hide in that tunnel, but if you put them in that
Okay.
passage, at least they wouldn't be visible from the straight.
Galen, take these guys down to where the lanterns are,
Why should I do that? You're the one knocking them out.
because you're useless otherwise. And then I go on to the other side.
I can't move them. Or
I
Dave,
can.
Braga, you're much better suited to this particular task. I'll stand watch.
I'm going to go peek down the other corridor and see what's down there.
Okay.
No, I think Deuce has a little unresolved anger or something.
So what you find is that the far end of this tunnel has a set of stairs very similar to the one that you were at on the other side.
Uh-huh.
But this would go up to the other side of the stage essentially. But unless you go up the stairs, you can't really see what else there might be there.
All right. Well, I'll sneak up the stairs and see if I can see what's up there.
All right, make a stealth check.
I was particular looking for access to other areas. 19.
Okay. Yes, as you make your way up there, in many ways, this is kind of a mirror image of where you were before. Oh, I'm hearing fireworks outside. A mirror image of where you were before, except you do see that on this side, there is on the back wall in the behind the sets area, there is both a regular sized door and also a closed sort of cargo door that's like, like 30 feet by 20
yeah.
feet tall.
A big barn door type
Yeah.
door.
Yeah, and so there's one of those and also a regular sized door next to it.
Okay, and there are people here, but they're focused on what's going on the stage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna sneak back down the stairs and try and go find the rest of the group and tell them that I think I found the right way.
So it's on the other side of the stage, you mean?
It looks like it's this direction.
So it just was over there, like I said.
All right. Are the stagehands that were knocked out safely ensconced down the bottom of the?
Did you guys take them all the way down to the bottom of the stairs where you came in from the sewers, or where did you take them just maybe through that door to the stairs, or?
Where the lanterns were.
Right. So in that room at the bottom of the stairs
Okay.
is where it would have taken them. But Braga is extremely pissed off at Deuce, and so is not talking to her.
So yeah, I think there's tension now in the group.
Yeah.
All right. So, but yes, looks like the two unconscious crewmen have been hidden out of immediate sight. I mean, there's not that many other places they could go. There is the other direction of the tunnel that you had first entered that would presumably go to towards the back of the auditorium, the entrance end of the auditorium, but you haven't explored in that direction.
Yeah, which I think is a possible exit route. But yeah, let's get back up to that wing of the backstage area there.
Okay.
We're gonna hurry because we're gonna get discovered any minute now, and we're gonna try and sneak across that backstage area, as well as we can with whatever cover, etc. is at hand.
I'm definitely hearing a lot of fireworks outside now. It's probably not coming through on my microphone at all, but I'm sure. But it's
we're a quarter of a mile from local park. I can feel it through the floor.
Yeah. So as you guys have reached the top of these stairs that lead up to the backstage area on this side of the stage, you all see now the door where the door is. It's about 35 feet from the stairs, and there are people around. But as previously noted, they have jobs to do. They're working. They're not just standing and watching the stairs. But are you guys just going to try to make a break for it? Are you sneaking up? Are you going to make some sort of a diversion? What's the plan?
The door is closed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can make a diversion with thaumaturgy.
The play right now, by the way, seems to be at there's a heated argument being made on the play. Anyone who likes can make a history check to.
Yes, I'll do that.
All right.
That would be a 15.
Okay. You know that although you haven't seen this particular play, everyone knows the history story of King Dominic and Queen Talia, and this is apparently the big scene where she has snuck into his royal bedchambers enemies at first, because she's from Tashmia and he's from Vela, and she is the enemy queen, but she's broken in, and it's going to be, is she there to assassinate him? well, no, maybe she's got something else in mind. And this seems to be a fictionalized version of that, but it's a very heated moment where he's discovered this infiltrator in his bedroom.
That's not a dagger. Anyway. So the doors are closed, and opening's probably going to make some noise. Unless you can move through doors without opening, which would be kind of cool. No.
No,
Is
no.
is the argument on stage very loud? Like, would a loud noise be bothersome to what's going on right now?
Yeah, probably, because it's intense, but it's basically just two people speaking heatedly to each other.
The stagehands that are standing by, the ones we have to sneak by, do they look like they're attending anything in particular there?
They each have various jobs. Like one guy seems to be sort of, standing by a bunch of, ropes for, controlling the curtains. Another guy seems to have a matched prop table to the one you saw on the other side. Some people are just kind of, standing and watching from the side off stage.
Orc Dave, can you make a noise like over towards away from the door so that everybody can look away from the door and not towards us?
Well, yes, but I don't think they're looking at us now.
Right, but now they'll be distracted if we go in the door.
But aren't they distracted with their jobs? So can't we just
I mean,
go?
if they're already distracted, let's just go. I mean, be ready with
These doors. Are they like large double doors, essentially?
So there's a big sort of barn garage type door, but then there's also a regular sized door next to it.
Oh, okay.
So one looks like it would be for moving any big set stuff from the storage area out to the main backstage area, but there's also just a regular door.
Okay.
We gotta risk it to get the biscuit, shall we? I'm gonna use thaumaturgy again to see if I can just make that door open. Because if it's unlocked, I should be able to make it fly open.
Okay, so there is, let's see,
Can you do that with one specific door? I thought it was for all doors and windows.
so,
It's an unlocked door or window.
I'm just looking, is this thaumaturgy does that?
Yeah, thaumaturgy like prestidigitation is a whole
Oh,
crap.
cause an unlocked door or window to fly open or slam shut. Yeah, so it's with 30 feet, so you have to get a little bit off the stairs to be in range of the door.
If the door is unlocked, I can make it open, but we need to get closer. So if I do this, we'll have to go and no hesitation.
Will it open gently or will it like fly open?
It will
Gently
definitely. It will.
Gently is not in the description of Orc Dave.
So maybe
Clearly
we should.
we have some work to do. If it flies open, then everyone's going to be looking at it.
Well, obviously they're preoccupied with the stage, so they can't run and check.
No, but they can turn around and see.
We've already been seen. I'm sure the lady.
It's going to go terribly, but sure. We'll do
I'm
it
sure-
okay.
I'm sure the lady we saw earlier has already informed someone of our presence. The time is short.
Yeah, like maybe
Yes.
those two guys that came down into the tunnel looking for.
Yep. But that's not going to last too long. Let's just get to where we need to be as fast as possible. Let's go. And we're going to start sneaking across the backstage area there.
All right, so can I get a stealth check from each of you, please?
Oh, my luck runs out.
Oh, no.
Natural 1.
Oh no!
Total of 7.
I have a 15 plus, so I have 18.
Okay.
18 from me.
And a 7 for me.
Well, I think that's still better than the natural one. So I'd like to imagine that the way this works is that, you've each kind of, been a little bit down the stairs having this sort of whispered discussion, and then Deuce finally says, "It's time. We're just going to sneak out there," and you kind of had looked around a little bit and then just kind of looked back to everyone else. Okay, now it's time. Then you go up the stairs and then you find yourself just like face to face with an actor who's just like right there in sort of like a page costume, and he's just like, "Who are you?" And he's basically blocking your path right now.
Can I just try to persuade him that it's okay, we're supposed to be here. Go and get to your next position. The curtain call's going to be soon.
Make a persuasion roll with disadvantage because because that's why. Because
well, that's actually pretty good because I got a 13 and a 16, plus my 13 plus my persuasion of 7. So
20.
I got a 20.
yeah, I think he's gonna just kind of say, he's gonna just look like, "Look, whatever, just you're in the way, just go." And he's gonna basically shove through you guys.
And while in that moment,
Let him go.
am I close enough to cast Thaumaturgy again?
Yes.
I'll cast it on the door.
Okay, the door flies open and goes slam against the wall, and everybody in the area looks at it. Everyone's just like, "What?" And you actually hear the dialogue on the stage sort of skip a beat. and then,
And needle skip somehow.
yeah. Yeah, and then so like the door just flew open, and so like all of these people backstage just looked at this sudden slam, horrified that someone's made a loud noise, and then they kind of gradually all find their gazes turning to you. But the door is open.
I told you all this was a bad plan.
Just go.
Oh, the door's open, so I'll walk over there.
Exactly.
Okay, you're just hurrying through the door now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine. They've got work to do.
All right.
Yeah, they can't risk any more disturbance by investigating what we're doing.
Well,
Hey, yeah, well, just run across the room and close the door.
yeah, so I guess that's what I was going to say, is I think that there's a moment where everybody is too startled and horrified by what's happening, that they don't stop you if you're just making your way straight to the door.
Yeah.
But now what?
We close it gently behind us.
What's on the other side?
And
What's on the other side of the door?
Oh, so yeah, as you make your way through, it is dark back there. 'Cause this is not a used area, but you've got your lantern. So you see that in this area, there is essentially a lot of prop furniture. It's kind of like a small warehouse area that's sort of very cluttered with a lot of prop furniture, a lot of stuff that has sort of, drapes over it to keep dust off of it. There, against the wall, there's big sort of stacks of various matte backdrop, paintings, and it's sort of a very cluttered area, but there is sort of a narrow, twisty path that goes through it and makes it your way around to various other parts. And you can see that there is another sort of wing of the room. Like if you go through the part that's parallel to the stage, you can also curve to the right, and there's another sort of part of the room back there.
all right, you guys go look. I'm gonna keep an eye on the door here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna. Which way does the door open?
The door opens into the stage.
Into the stage. So out from where I am.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna hold on to the latch.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow the path around to see if there's either another room or another area that that might lead to where they would be holding the guys.
Okay, so
Before we run off, I'm going to look at Deuce and say, "You better not mess this up," and cast Bardic Inspiration.
all right.
Okay.
That's very inspiring.
It's a half orc. That's how half orcs inspire
Sure,
people.
sure. Orc Dave, please make a stealth check for me.
Ooh, that would be a 5.
All right. So yeah, I think Deuce, as you are focusing on the door, holding it closed, you hear like a small crash as apparently a set of dishes has been knocked onto the floor, and it's like, sorry. But yes, then someone on the other side tries to open the door. So,
So
I think
I'm holding it shut.
there's no check required for the very first one because they were just sort of trying to open it in an ordinary way. But now they're going to try to pull it open, recognizing that someone's trying to keep it closed. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to make that a contested strength or athletics.
Okay. And what's the inspiration die worth?
Is it a D8 for level 5?
Yeah.
All right. They get a 14.
Got a 16.
All right.
Thanks to the inspiration.
Right, you don't want to mess with Braga.
So you're hearing sort of muffled, harsh whispering from the other side of the door, saying, "Hey, come out of there! Come out of there!" And they're still trying to pull on the door, but you're managing to hold it closed for now.
Okay. I'm going to look around for something that I can. First of all, what kind of latch is it? Is it got anything that I can loop or?
Yes, it's the kind that has a sort of a horizontal bar that swings down to open.
Okay.
So you've
right.
not only got a good grip on it, but it's definitely something you could loop rope around.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to look for something that I can tie that to hold it closed
All right.
more securely than I can just do by holding onto it myself.
All right. Make a perception check. And while you do that, Orc Dave, I think you look up from these dishes that you accidentally knocked onto the ground, and you hear just from around this corner into the other part of the room, which appears to just be more storage. You hear what sounds like a book dropping to the floor, and then nothing.
Do I see anyone?
So right now you're still kind of not quite all the way around to see into that part of the room.
We must be almost at the end. After all, the book stops here.
I'm going to keep going and
Okay.
see who's around there.
He's going around the outside of the stuff. Is that what I'm hearing?
So this room is a big L-shaped room.
Okay.
It's so the initial part that kind of runs along parallel to the backstage, but then from the entrance on the far side of it, you can turn right and it's more of an L shape that goes further back in on that side, and that's where Orc Dave is checking out. And I think as you make your way around the corner, you see an area that's clearly sort of it's been cleared out. And there's been a thick carpet like unrolled on a certain area, and you see what looks like the recently abandoned remains of a basic meal that had been laid out.
How far away am I from everyone else?
Maybe 30 feet.
I have to actually-
Probably more from Deuce. I would imagine if Galen and Braga are kind of in the middle of the room, and Deuce is still by the door, and so maybe 30 feet from Galen and Braga, and more like 60 from Deuce. How is your investigation check or your perception check, Deuce?
10.
10. Okay, there doesn't seem to be anything in the immediate vicinity that is going to work. I mean, there's basically lots of like stacked furniture and props and everything that doesn't none of it is secured because it's designed to be moved around.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'm just holding on to the door.
All right, make another athletics check. They just got a 10 that time.
17.
Okay. Yeah, so you're still holding it for now, but it's starting to sort of rumble a little bit as they're trying to pull harder on it. What are you guys doing, Galen, Braga?
Trying to catch up with Orc Dave.
Okay.
Did I hear that, or did I hear the book at all, or no?
I think by the time you catch up, you can see, like with Orc Dave, that there is an area that looks like people were perhaps sitting and eating a meal,
Okay.
but
So-
you don't see anyone there currently. That said, this room is packed with like draped furniture and sets and props and stuff like that. There's just like tons of places someone could hide.
Can I do an investigation and inspire myself trying to find where they would have gone?
Yeah.
So as I'm looking, I'm going to sing to myself, life force, you have little life force, you precious little life force, where are you? And it's a good thing I did that, because stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff and things.
Because stuff and things.
Okay.
Okay, so that is it investigation, or is it,
Well, you said investigation.
it didn't say investigation.
Yeah,
So
I think
that
because
is-
the investigation, to my mind, is you looking at the available areas and trying to determine what's the most likely place someone would hide, versus perception would be like, do I see anyone?
okay, so that is a 15.
Okay. Yeah, there's just too many places that if someone was good at hiding, which you have no reason to doubt that if it is the people you were looking for, they're probably good at hiding. And there's too many places. That said, you don't see anywhere else they could have gone. It seems to be a dead end of the room.
Okay. I want to continue to search, because, there could be trapdoors, or, like, you said that I was just figuring out where they are, and so now I'm actually going to go look.
All right. So, Galen, what are you doing during all this?
Let's see. I think I'm going to wander deeper in the room, the opposite direction where they're going.
Okay.
This is the not quite so deep room. I'm also kind of keeping an eye on over my shoulder, trying not to look like I'm doing so, and staying about 30 feet away from Deuce,
Okay.
just in case. I'm waiting for something, but I'm keeping an eye out.
All right. So, I think as you guys are poking around, we're gonna have a surprise attack come against both Orc Dave and Braga. So, yeah. So we're gonna resolve those surprise attacks first, and then we'll roll initiative.
Okay.
Okay. So first. Okay, so against Orc Dave, does a 14 hit?
It does.
Okay, so that is going to be... 5 piercing damage, and please make a Constitution saving throw.
I am not seeing my AC. Oh, there it is. I clicked on a different tab.
That would be a 15.
15 is actually just enough, so you're only going to take half damage from the poison on this crossbow bolt that shoots out of a shadow in the corner, and you're going to take 14 poison damage in addition to the
Ouch!
5 piercing damage.
Holy crap, I'm glad I'm not over there.
Ow.
Yeah, and then Braga, you find yourself. Hang on, actually. Yeah, you find yourself startled by a small feminine figure dressed all in red leaping out from, or leaping basically down on you from the top of a stack of furniture and basically swiping at you with a dagger and a rapier. And that's going to be a 20 to hit
Oh, yeah.
with the first rapier attack. A 24 to hit with second rapier attack, and then 22. So I think all of those are going to hit.
Yeah.
She doesn't have poison on her weapons, though.
Thank
so.
goodness.
Okay, so that's going to be... Oops. 8 piercing damage from the dagger.
Mm-hmm.
8 piercing damage from one of the rapier attacks, and then 11 from the second rapier. So,
Oh, wow. So 27 points.
yeah. Yeah, and so basically both of these figures have revealed their positions now. The guy who shot the crossbow is now sort of spotted, but still kind of up in a corner in the shadows, and the other one has basically jumped down on you and just stabbed you like a pincushion. But now we're going to roll initiative.
Yay!
Let's see.
I just realized that I don't have any weapons on my character sheet, so
Okay.
I'm going to have to figure that out real quick.
All right.
Great.
My initiative is, where is my dex?
When you have a disarming smile and a rapier wit.
15.
Ah, there it is.
Okay, 15 for Dave.
Deuce has a 20.
Okay.
Galen also has 20.
Wow.
And, Braga also has 20.
Wow. Okay.
I found my weapons. It's all good now.
Okay, so that means that Braga, Deuce, and Galen are all essentially acting at the same time. So if you guys want to kind of coordinate or something, we can do that. So you guys tell me.
I
what-
think
what
we're
the
all
three of you
really
are
far
doing.
away from each other.
Deuce,
Yeah.
Deuce is 60 feet away from where the action just happened, and he's also the one still holding this door.
Okay. So I would like to slash at this woman with, apparently I have a longsword.
Okay.
So I would like to slash at her with that.
All right.
That is, and plus 8, 26 to hit.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely hits.
I'm very strong. And so that's a D8.
I just realized I still had the sewer ambiance instead of the one that I had.
It's a terrible play. Terrible
Yeah.
play.
Terrible play. And so I do 6 damage. And then for my bonus action, I want to cast Healing Word on myself.
Okay. 6 damage with your attack on the on the lady here, the lady rogue.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
And I would like to disengage from her after I do my healing word on myself, which is a 7 points back to me. Yay.
Okay. So, Deuce, what are you doing?
Um,
Still continuing to hold the door?
yeah, and I can hear the
Yeah.
fight going on over there, but I don't think that that. Okay. Okay. I know what I'm going to do. The next time they pull on the door, I'm just going to let it go
Okay.
and hope that they all get kind of pushed, get flung back from the door as they suddenly go like that.
Okay.
And then yank it closed again.
All right. I'm not 100% sure how that's better than just continuing to hold it closed, but
Yeah, no. See,
I'm just trying to make sure I understand what it is you're trying to
Okay.
accomplish, other than making them fall on their butts.
Because I'm pretty sure that the rest of the party is about to kill the people we were supposed to talk to.
Okay.
So given that the whole thing is going to hell in a handbasket, I am seriously considering an escape plan.
Okay.
I've never met these guys before in my life, and they seem to be fucking up royally over there. So, yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna hold on to the door right now. But if they pull it open, I'm just gonna run.
Okay.
So, okay, here's what I'm doing. I'm holding the door. I'm holding my action. If they beat me, if they get the door open, I'm gonna take off.
All right. Do go ahead and make another athletics check just to continue trying to hold the door.
18.
Yeah, you're fine. All right. So, Galen, what about you?
Well, what I was waiting for didn't happen, so it's fine because you have to wait for more things than one. Something happening on the other side of the room. How far away approximately am I from that?
I would say you're maybe 30 feet. I'd say I was kind of imagining you split in between the two groups where the attacks just happened versus where Deuce is.
So where do I know where the attackers are?
Yeah, well, so one of them really just jumped right out on top of Braga and is right there. The other one revealed his location, so it's technically not hidden, but he did sort of fire from the shadows.
How far away are each of them? So one's on top of Galen, so it'd be about 30 feet, or so on top
Yeah.
of Orc Dave.
Yeah, the other
So-
one would maybe be 45 feet.
45 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I see that one of them has revealed themselves, which is handy. So I'm going to start to make my way over to the one that is facing in melee.
Okay.
As I walk over, I seem to flip around, and let's see how many times. Natural 20 on the hit
All
to
right.
attack, which is pretty good to start with.
Okay. Well, that's gonna hit,
That's kind of just ridiculous. That's a quarterstaff
sure.
for 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right.
I trip and fall. I kind of extend the quarterstaff out. I come smacking down on the top of their head. I kind of roll into it and then elbow. That's not as good. That's a 10 to hit.
10 misses.
Okay. Let's see. How fun do I want to go at this point? You know what? This is the only thing, so why not spend all the things I have? Those are fun.
I don't know what you'd be saving it for at this point, but sure.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I will spend a key point to do Flurry of Blows.
Okay.
So I'll do 2 unarmed strikes as my bonus action. So as I continue to kind of roll around, the elbows go flying.
I think it's one more unarmed, right?
If I don't spend for it, it's 1. If I spend for it, it's 2.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. That's not how I thought it worked, but fine. That's fine.
Well, normally they get the 1 bonus action. Flurry of Blows is one of the key spending
Right.
hours.
I thought what it was is you can martial arts lets you make a weapon attack and 1 unarmed strike, and then
Right.
if you spend for flurry of blows, that's 1 additional. Is what I thought it
It
was.
specifically says after you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend 1 key point and make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action.
But the unarmed strike you make for martial arts is also a bonus action.
I have 2 strikes per attack, or 2 attacks per.
Okay,
back
yeah, that's
action.
fine. All right, we don't have to belabor it. You may be right. It's fine. Let's move on.
So the third attack is a 20 to hit
All right, yeah.
total
Mhm.
for another 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
I'm not trying to do lethal damage; it's literally shoulders and elbows.
She seems pretty tough, so she's not fallen down yet. But yeah, if you're doing non-lethal damage, we can take that as it.
15 to hit.
Okay, 15 misses.
Okay. And because I use Flurry of Blows, I get to use Disengage for free,
Mhm.
and my walking speed increases by 10.
Mhm.
So I will disengage and stumble over towards where the crossbow was fired.
Okay, so kind of more towards in the middle of everything. All right, great. And by the way, just since
I actually will get right through him, I think, because I have 40 movements at base.
Okay, yeah. So you can basically walk right up, get it right up in his face.
Yep.
And okay, so he is alarmed, and I think it should be like all of you who are kind of over there can definitely see both of these figures are wearing the sort of the bright red outfits.
That's a relief, because this would have been really embarrassing otherwise.
Yeah. All right, so that makes it Orc Dave's turn. These guys actually have fairly high initiative, but you guys just all rolled high. You're muted, if you were trying to say something.
Okay,
There you go.
that Mr. Crossbowman hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use one of my 3rd level spell slots to cast Spiritual Weapon,
All right.
and I'm going to do it right next to him. And I'm going to make a melee attack on him with my Spiritual Weapon.
Okay.
That would be.
What's it look like, Orc Dave?
It is a hammer, a large stone hammer. Or, well, yeah, like a. I would say, think of like. Have you ever seen in World of Warcraft Thrall's Doom Hammer? It's like
imagine that.
a large stone head with like sigils on it and a thick leather-bound grip.
It's got a little carving of a bird on the side.
Yes, it's blue. It's pretty.
So as as you go ahead and make your attack with the spiritual weapon.
Yeah. 21.
Yep, that'll hit.
So that'd be 3d8 plus 3. Where are you, my d8? There you are. Ugh. There we go. And there we go. So that'd be 15 to 18 points of damage.
All right. Clocked him with your spectral hammer.
Indeed. And it lasts a while, too.
Yeah, it stays. Keep it up as you.
For
as
1
you
minute,
maintain
so that's-
concentration. Yeah.
Yeah. Until you get shot for another 30 points of damage and fail a concentration
Phil.
check.
Hey, I'm a orc. I'm a hardy.
All right, so so it is now the guy who fired the crossbow. It's his turn, and as he's kind of moving out from the shadows, one of the things you guys notice about him, I think the first thing you all noticed is the outfits, kind of confirming that this is probably who you're coming from. But when you catch this guy's got like bags under his eyes. He doesn't look good. He looks like he's not slept in 3 days. He's really kind of like he's unshaven and kind of looks a little sallow. The woman is a little better off, but also looks haggard. And then he just kind of as he is going to come at you with a short sword now. Actually, he's coming at you, Galen, because you're the one that just walked right up to him. He is going to be attacking you with his short sword, but he is humming to himself as he does, and it's probably only loud enough for you to hear, Galen, but he's just going da, 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 da. And so I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, that's not great. That is a 7.
Okay, yeah, so similar to what I described for Deuce earlier, you find yourself momentarily distracted by just having the a variety of, like, you don't know who these people are. It's just you just have the vague sense of these strange people in your head, and then it's gone. But you also realize now that you have just you're getting stabbed with a short sword. So that's a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, so that first attack is going to be 9 piercing damage, and I need a Constitution saving throw.
20 total?
Yeah, that's a success. So I don't want to roll 7d6. That's what it is, by the way. Yeah.
Ooh. Pretty effective poison.
Yeah, he's an assassin. But you succeeded on the save, so it's going to be 12 poison damage. But that's just the first short sword attack. The second one is an 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Yeah, so that's going to be 8 piercing damage and another Constitution saving throw.
That one is only an 8.
Okay, that's another 20 poison damage.
About.
Alright. As you guys, watch as this crazy looking human man in all the red leather just stabs the hell out of Galen, and Galen goes down. All right, it is the woman's turn now, and she looks like she's marginally better than her, her boyfriend or whoever. They seem like they're together. But she is attacking you some more, Braga. But as she's asking you questions as she talks, but she's like not making sense because she's attacking as she talks. She's not waiting for you to answer her. She's just kind of like shouting to herself, like, "What are you doing here? Who are you?" and all this. But she's stabbing you in the meantime.
Okay.
It's a little bit disconcerting because, like I said, it's like she's not waiting for you to answer. She's just stabbing. So she's going to make another 2 rapier attacks and another dagger attack. No longer an advantage, though. So the first rapier is just an 8.
Oh, thank God.
Second rapier is a 12.
Misses!
All right.
I'm at 13.
The dagger is a 16.
That hits.
Yeah. So that's going to be just 5 piercing damage.
Okay.
All right. So that is everyone's turn, but we're back up at the top of the initiative. And what you realize now, Deuce, is that you not only hear more people and more footsteps shuffling on the other side, but you hear them moving over to the big door.
The big door, right.
And so it looks like they're about to start opening the big door, but it's going to take them a second because you hear them basically unlocking like pins that hold it closed.
Yeah. There's no way I can hold both doors. All right.
So we're back at the top of the initiative, which means Braga, Deuce, and Galen all kind of go at once. So go ahead and, I guess let's have Deuce and Braga go first.
At 20 on my death save.
All right, that's one success.
Oh no, not 20. I'm up at 1 point.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there you go. Great.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Deuce. Unless you want to think about what you're going to do.
We're going to have company! And I'm going to run over to where everybody else is.
All right.
I'm going to take a double move and get over there.
Okay. All right. So, Braga, what about you? What are you doing?
So I would like to grapple her
Okay.
try to answer her question.
All right.
But she's smaller than me. I can hold her down.
She looks pretty wily, though, so go ahead and make an athletics check, and she's going to contest with her acrobatics.
Okay. Natural 19 plus 8 is a 27.
She got a natural 19 plus 8.
Oh my god, so we match!
Yeah, so,
Eyes go to the defender.
yeah, so basically,
Vince off.
you find yourself kind of very evenly matched in this, but she is just able to avoid being grappled with that
And then
attack.
I'm going to say, slow down, we don't actually want to kill you, we just want to talk to you. Will you stop attacking us?
Make a persuasion check, and that's going to be the end of your action.
Okay, that's fine. 17 plus persuasion is 7, so 24.
Okay. All right.
I put all my points in charisma and strength.
So, grapple and talk. That's what you do. All right. So, Galen, what are you doing? You're on the floor, bleeding, but not unconscious anymore.
Well, I'm at 1 hit point, so
Yeah.
I'm going to pretend to be dead.
All right. Make a deception check.
Deception or performance?
Well, whichever you prefer. If performance is better.
Actually, I just realized they're both tied. Oh well. That is a 10 total.
Okay.
I didn't know I had an action because normally you do the death save at the end of
Oh,
your turn.
you're right. Yeah. So I'll allow that you, if you're going to play that'll be fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine.
Orc Dave, as far as you can tell, Galen is still unconscious on the floor.
Alrighty, so I am going to pull off my holy symbol and in angry orc say, I am Orc Dave, Knight of Cups. I overflow with the light of living.
You've been waiting so long.
And I'm going to channel divinity to preserve life, and I'm going to split the 25 hit points between Galen and Braga. She'll take
Okay.
13. He'll get 12.
All right.
And then
Thank you.
as my bonus action, I will then use healing word on myself. But
Alright.
I will use it at, let's see, at a 3rd level slot. So that takes my last 3rd level spell. And that will be 3d4 plus 3.
All right.
And as I channel these and cast these, the birds start singing and fluttering, and they start peeking out of my beard. There's just so many of them. It's like I've got a freaking zoo in there.
Yeah. What I think is also happening is that with the amount of yelling that's been happening, I think that there's a little bit of you guys hear a little bit of murmuring from the stage direction, like people are hearing strange stuff that doesn't seem like part of the show.
Oh no, we've disrupted the play. The world will end.
Certainly going to
Listen,
attract a lot of
Braga's-
attention, is my
Braga's
point.
world could end.
Yeah, it also doesn't help that when I cast spells, my holy symbol glows.
Yeah. Well, so it definitely this otherwise fairly dark, only dimly lit from the lantern that Galen was carrying, that's on the floor now. You guys, it's lit in there. But so that was Orc Dave's turn. So it is actually now this guy's turn. But he heard what Braga said, and he's holding his action essentially. But he's just but he doesn't attack with it at the moment, and he just kind of says, "Who sent you?"
We are with the tarot.
That doesn't seem like a reason not to kill you.
Well,
We have no intention of killing you. We just want to know if your search is going to interfere with our business.
What?
Your search.
It's not my search.
Well, whoever is giving you instructions. Three.
And all of you make another wisdom saving throw. Actually, I think Deuce and Galen already failed, so they don't have to make it again.
I got a natural 19, so 20.
All right.
You can't do that to a bard.
Yeah, that would be a 24.
Okay,
Yeah.
you guys are both still, you are aware now, because it's happened a couple of times, that you are resisting some sort of a magical effect that seems tied to that. But yeah, Galen and Deuce, when you hear the song again, it just feels like it's reinforcing itself as an earworm in your head. You just like kind of feel like you sort of just have it in your head now. And once again, you're sort of flash on the image of those strange people.
So,
But yeah, this guy has kind of he's acting like he's got a headache and he's just sort of singing to himself almost like it's a calming thing.
can you describe to me what you're seeing?
It's those adventurers.
Which adventurers?
At this point, the big set piece door opens, and you guys, light kind of pours into the room, and you guys can all see that there's, several crew members and a couple of people that look like guards that are, in armor and have their swords out.
So I say, let's talk this out. I'm being very calming in my voice. Let's talk this out. We'll send them away, and let's figure out what's going on. Let us help you.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage, because it's not at all clear to them how you're going to make the guards go away.
Not clear to me either. So my lowest was a 13.
Okay.
With persuasion is 20.
I think the lowest was 20.
The lowest was 20.
I think that the best that's going to get you still is kind of like a sort of incredulous look, and the woman kind of just says, "How?" And meanwhile, you have these guards coming in, and they're not shouting, but they're definitely looking like they're spreading out to sort of block the entrance and beginning to search the room. But you guys aren't in that sort of immediate area at the moment.
How many
Or I
guards?
guess, Deuce, you were still over by the other door, though, right?
No,
You
no,
didn't-
I took my action to double move.
That's right. Okay, so yeah, you guys see that over by the doors, that as far as you know are the only ways in and out of this room, that area is now blocked by 4 soldiers at least, and several members and their people in the crew uniforms.
So I say, everybody hide. Orc Dick, slam the door again.
Okay.
Yes, I can
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
Yes.
I know you can.
But sadly, that breaks my contract. So spiritual weapon has to go.
Okay, well, it was a big glowing hammer anyway, so.
Yeah.
Liturgy doesn't break concentration.
Oh, does it? Does it?
Oh.
Well, it's still a glowing
yeah.
spectral hammer, though.
Yeah, so you can still dismiss it, but yeah, you could cast the cantrip without being forced to dismiss it.
Oh, well, you know what? Actually, I'm not gonna let it go, seeing as it would be a good distraction and since it does glow, it would cast harsh shadows
Okay.
where it is not, which would aid in hiding. So I'll leave it, but I will use thaumaturgy to shut the big door again.
Okay.
And when he does that, I am going to cast message at one of the guards that looks the most impressive and say, did they just slip past us?
Okay, so you're all trying to hide then? Is that the idea? I mean, there's lots of stuff around here, so.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We're trying to hide and make them think we slipped past them back through the door.
Okay, so I think that they're all startled enough by this giant door that they just opened, suddenly going slam. slamming shut, that at least it's going to give you all an opportunity to try to hide. And there are definitely hiding places, but what that means now is that I'm looking for a stealth check from everybody.
It's dim in the room, right?
It is, in fact, actually, it's dim because of the glowing hammer. If you put out the lantern and the hammer were gone, it would be totally dark.
And do the guards appear to be human or otherwise?
As far as you can tell, they're human, but it's
Yes,
it's chaotic at the moment.
And how high are the ceilings? Can I tell?
They're pretty high in here. It's maybe like 50, 60 feet.
Okay.
Because it seems to go all the way up to like the same level as where the the curtains would be and stuff like that.
25 for Deuce.
Okay.
A 20 after everything.
All right.
19 after everything.
I
Okay.
have to do something different, but I'll hold for the stealth at the moment. Holy shit, okay. It's in that 20.
Wow. Okay.
Disturbing. It's really disturbing. So that's 26 total.
Okay. So oddly enough, one of the
They're kinda
rogues, the lady
roll with
rogue, actually gets a rolls pretty poorly. She's normally like good at it, but only gets an 8 total because she rolled so bad. But what that means is all of you actually hide pretty well, except for her. And so as these guards, because several of them were in the room already, so the slamming of the door didn't leave them outside. They're in now, but in the dark, startled, and what's going on, they make their way around this corner and basically just see her kind of like had not quite gotten this couch drape over her yet. And she kind of just sort of freezes.
And can I see this from where I'm hiding?
Yeah, I think you can see that it's happening. Are you taking an immediate action or?
I'm gonna extinguish spiritual weapon.
Okay. So suddenly, so they come around the corner, dimly lit, the strange glowing hammer. They see her just there, and then blackout.
Yep.
You guys.
As
So-
that happens, can I cast non-detection on the couch that she's trying to hide under?
I don't think you cast it on the couch, right? I mean, it's, you cast it on
Or
a
you
creature.
hide a target.
Well, you
So-
would want to cast on her then, I would think.
Okay. So can I do
Can't
that?
see her. You
You
can't
have to
see
you
her.
have to
Well,
I
touch her.
can see her.
And also, doesn't
It's a touching
non-detection
spell.
just it's that prevents like divination, but I don't think it makes her invisible.
Oh, from divination magic, yeah.
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 Okay, never mind.
Wait, you have dark
so
vision. Everybody,
people
you can't
could
see
still
her.
see her, like with their eyes, just not by scrying.
Got it. Never mind.
Okay, so yeah, I think basically we're gonna just briefly cinematic that after this blackout, we get a very cartoony series of sound effects of people smashing into various bits of furniture and knocking over props and stuff like that. And then someone basically illuminates another lantern, and she has successfully re-hidden. And so at the moment, all of you are hidden from sight, but they did see her there, and I think at this point the man who has hidden next to you, Orc Dave, is just gonna kind of be whispering to you, is like, now what?
Let's see. By the way, thaumaturgy, great spell, by the way. Let's see, because I should be able to. Let's see. Indeed. Oh, darn it. Let's see.
Can I send a message to Orc Dave, since it's a cantrip I have?
Yep.
And be like, theater people are very superstitious. If you don't do something, I will, and it will hurt them. And I don't want to hurt them.
So I'm going to use.
Incidentally, yeah, these guards have definitely started searching the room.
I want to make use thaumaturgy again, but this time I'm going to have it make. Let's see, where are you? I want to make ominous whispers, but I don't want to make them distinct. I just want to kind of make it sound like we're trying to move like towards the door, the smaller door, not the large door,
Okay.
and try to get out that way to see if they'll follow it and go that way.
Just sort of like the sounds of sort of whispering voices like from the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And scuffling feet and
Okay. Well, it can't be overcomplicated. I mean, we don't
No,
wanna
yeah,
abuse the
that's
power
why-
of thaumaturgy.
Yeah, that's why that's why they're indistinct.
Right. Okay. So, because otherwise it's like into minor illusion territory, and you can't allow one cantrip to
Yeah.
just essentially also do the other one. But yeah. Okay. So you sort of make the whispering sounds, and you sort of hear like, what was that? Come on. And you hear them whispering. You can hear kind of outside that the production is proceeding. The show must go on. But it's definitely, the guards have sort of turned their attention more in the other direction for the moment. And then the woman, Rogue, points to you, and she's near where you are hidden, Galen. She points to you and just silently taps you on the shoulder and points up to a corner. And one of the far corners, kind of, it's mostly hidden from view, kind of in shadow, and there's a tall set piece. But around behind it, you see there's a ladder that looks like it goes up to the catwalks.
Okay. While they're doing that, I am because the doors they're like spread out and searching, right? They're not
Yeah.
no longer like blocking the exits.
Right, but
So-
they heard sounds in the other way, so they're kind of like, wait,
Yep.
what? Over
So
there?
I am going to, as a distraction, break cover, run for the door, and just pelt it out of there as fast as I can to try to get all of them to chase me.
All right, okay. So
I'm
let's
impressed.
see.
That's something I was going to do.
All right.
I've got more hit points.
Okay, so yeah, I think are you trying to just because you could just slam right through the smaller door.
Yeah, I'm going out the smaller door because I want to stay ahead of them.
Okay.
And
Make a shove attack against the one crew guy that's standing by that door.
okay,
He rolls too high, kills him.
No, shove attack
what-
will only kind of push him out of the way.
what do I roll? Just
Athletics.
athletics. Okay,
Yeah.
20.
Yeah. You just plow this guy into. He falls through like one of the big set things, and he's like got his butt through this painting, and his leg hanging out.
Yeah, one of those huge like canvas
Yeah, exactly.
things that they call them shams, I think.
Yeah, maybe I'm not sure, but yeah. So and then you bolt through the that set door, and I think that you're you basically make it kind of like just out that way, coming from where
Yeah.
you were. Okay, but yes, you definitely have everybody's attention. That was a notable.
And and while I'm running, I'm going to nope. I'm just gonna run.
All right.
I'm just gonna run. I couldn't think of anything on the top of my head that would be the right thing to shout. So
All
yeah.
right. So I think with the noise that that has just happened there, I think that the Lady Rogue is making her way to that ladder, feeling like she has communicated all she feels obligated to do, and is now climbing that ladder, which goes up a good 50, 60 feet. But it's kind of like the 30 feet of it that are near the floor are kind of shadowed just by the way the light works in
Do
here.
the rest of us see that that's what they're doing?
When she breaks cover to do that, taking advantage of everyone else just having watched Deuce run out of the room, you see her do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow her.
Okay.
I'm coming up the wrong side of the ladder for half the trip.
I will wait until Orc Dave is most of the way up, and then I will break cover and do the same.
Okay. I think, let's see. The guards are so distracted by Deuce, they do not notice you guys climbing the ladder. So, you guys, it's going to take you a round or two to get up that ladder, so let's follow Deuce. Where are you running?
I'm running toward the tunnel underneath the stage.
Okay.
And I'm going to take that turn that leads toward the front of the house.
All right. Okay, so let's. I think we're definitely in chase scene mode, so feel free to be as cinematic as you like here.
Okay.
Your first move coming out of that backstage area is going to be heading towards those stairs, which is essentially goes down
So I'm
about 2 levels.
crossing across the backstage area there.
All right.
And I'm not I will as I'm no second see anything I do that would be an action I would slow me down too much for the chase.
You know what? I'm going to rule that there's more guards standing on those stairs already.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'm going to run out on stage.
Yeah!
Going to run out on stage. I assume that's about as far as I can get in this round.
Yeah. So basically, we're going to cut away from you just as you burst out on stage, and now you're looking out at a packed house. There's a good 500 plus people.
Sing like your life belongs.
In fancy outfits. And all the other actors are looking at you startled, and you see that one of them is in a different costume, but it is definitely that woman who was wearing the crown in the tunnel before, and she just looks at you and just... All right, so we're going to cut up to everyone else who is climbing those ladders now up to the catwalk. As you get to the top of the ladder, you see that there are these narrow platforms that run along, the top of this room and cross through an open, just like sort of a portal area into the backstage area, and you can see that it actually runs out over the stage as well. There's a couple of different ways you could go here. But the first opportunity for any other ladder would be essentially down on the stage left area.
What's up? What's up from here?
Up is you're near the high ceiling now.
Are there any windows?
That's my question.
Not here, but if you look and if you keep going straight along this path past the ladder that would go down to the backstage area, you see that it does seem to lead to some other sort of a platform that's you'd be going out over part of the stage, and then there's a turn that looks like it goes out to maybe one of those third floor balconies, for example.
We should head that way.
Now you're thinking with space.
All right, so the lady rogue here is leading the way up front, and she kind of does not seem to be waiting for anyone. She is booking it in that direction. The guy is moving a little slower. You can see that he had some adrenaline in that initial attack, but he's acting kind of fatigued now that he's climbed this ladder, and he's moving a little slower, and he's kind of in the middle of the pack now with the rest of you guys because he wasn't as near to the ladder.
Crap. Let's see. Does he have any conditions afflicting him?
You might guess that he's exhausted. Like I said, he looks like he hasn't slept in 3 days.
Well, lesser restoration won't help.
I think lesser restoration does
Yeah.
cure a level of exhaustion, I think, mechanically.
Oh, well, alrighty. Then yeah, I'll put a hand on his shoulder and say, "It's okay. We'll get out of this." Big orc Dave. And my birds chirp happily, with him.
All right, so I think the as you cast that spell on him, he does sort of shiver and then look to you and say, "Thank you." But as you reached out with your divine magic and restored some measure of vitality to him, you definitely sensed the presence of some other magic on him that was untouchable by your spell.
Oof. Yeah.
In the meantime, Deuce, standing out on the stage in front of all of these people, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Do you remember
Okay.
your lines? Are you singing on time?
15.
Okay, yeah. You find yourself momentarily, that song stuck in your head again, but you found yourself having to suppress an impulse to just sing that song right out in front of everybody.
Well, actually, instead of that, I did not actually remember the description you gave of the image in my head, but as Deuce leaps off the stage and runs up the aisle toward the exit, she's going to shout something apocalyptic about watching for the fox spirit and the thunder cleric, the thunder elf, and all that. Whatever details that she can remember of the vision she had, she's just going to kind of scream something apocalyptic about that and just jump off the stage and run up the aisle.
I very much approve. Make a performance check with advantage.
Okay. Unfortunately, I've got a 0, so that's a 3. Let's see what I got. I got a 4.
Okay. Yeah, I think the audience is very confused as your incoherent, insane ramblings shouted at them as you this crazy person bursts onto the stage and is immediately running into the audience. So I think though, as you're getting, you're running up the aisle, right? Back towards the main entrance, it does look like there's a couple of the ushers who are in the, the fancier outfits who look like they're going to try to, if they can, try to sort of block your path and grapple you.
Okay. How full is the audience in the back?
The seats are full. It's a sold out house.
All right. Well, then I'm going to pick whichever one of them looks the least beefy and just try to barrel past him with another shove.
All right, make another shove attack.
16 plus my whatever the bonus is, strength.
Oh man, you just
17.
blow past this guy. Like it's like a football linebacker playing Red Rover with an elementary school kids. It's just kablamo.
Okay.
And you find yourself spitting out little bits of gold braid.
There's a cloud of red velvet.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Okay, so back up with the rest of you guys making your way along this catwalk. As you are making your way towards that opening, you do realize that you are now climbing out over the stage and watching some of what just transpired with Deuce down there from 60 feet in the air, kind of crawling along this very narrow walkway with sort of it's kind of a rail, but it's more like, it's more like just something you could hold on to than something that would really obstruct you if you were to tumble. But you're making your way. Are you just continuing in that direction towards the towards that opening?
I have a feeling that as Galen moves along, most people think he's going to fall off with the wide, sweeping motions, which are actually keeping really good balance, but it looks like he's completely out of whack.
So like everyone else is crawling and you're just like up walking anyway, just like
Pretty much.
yeah.
The staff goes out at a weird angle, and
Are you guys being stealthy?
Brocka's gonna try.
I am going to sacrifice stealth to use Deuce's distraction to our advantage and make as much speedy progress to our place of escape,
Okay.
or hopeful escape.
Yeah. So you guys make your way along there. You're hurrying, and I think that's making noise crawling along in a hurried manner. And so I think at some point you guys recognize that some of the audience starts to gasp and point, and you realize that a whole bunch of people are seeing you up there as you make your way. You're almost to the hey, you want to do like a little cartwheel or something on the catwalk there?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
As he moves along, it's like you're never quite sure if he's going to take a step or a roll.
Make an acrobatics check for me.
Sure.
Oh God.
That is a. Oops. Where did we go? That is a 19.
Yeah, you perform an impressive little flip and cartwheel and do this little thing where like it looks like, oh no, you're about to fall, but then you kind of ta-da, and everyone's like, oh. And people are laughing, and you hear a thunk and realize that the actress playing the queen has just thrown her crown down on the ground. And so you're making your way back towards there, and you realize once you kind of get up level with it that it turns to the right, and you see that it does go into another area where there's it's the loading level on the third floor, that would open to the outside, and it has the sort of the winch and the crane that are kind of folded in and with the window closed.
How long do you think it would take for us to use that crane?
Well, someone can make an intelligence check to try to figure out how it would work.
Fine, Orc Dave will try.
Go ahead, Arcade.
But let's see. I will first use. Where are you? No, that's attack and saving roll. Never mind. I didn't prepare that one. Yeah, didn't prepare that one. Never mind. We're just gonna try with my raw orc intelligence.
All right.
That's a 7. I want to say.
Okay.
Years.
Yeah, so like you run up to it, and
Oh, that's definitely a 7.
and it's got all of these things that are probably safety features, like just all of these weird like harnesses and leather straps and gears on it, and just it's been very stressful the last 30 seconds or so. And so I think at the moment right now you could kind of shove it and break the window, but the crane would still be like secured and not like usable for anything. But like you could shove it and shove one end and have the end of it that's supposed to stick out kind of shatter through the window. But that would be about all you could make work at a moment's notice.
Meanwhile, I'm opening the window.
All right. Opening the window is not terribly difficult. So, you now are exposed to fresh air. Incidentally, this room does have, there's more space in there, and there's some stairs that go back down into other parts of the building from here. But yeah, the window opens, and it is a 40-foot drop to the street outside.
Who looks stronger, Orc Dave or Braga?
Braga has a 20 for strength.
Definitely looks stronger. Does she look very heavy too?
While
Actually,
you
she
guys,
was probably smaller than me. I remember I'm 7 feet tall.
Right.
while you guys are waiting, the lady rogue, I was going to say, does a fancy acrobatic parkour thing, jumping out the window and like riding like a pipe down to the ground or something like that. But then she rolled a natural one.
Can I, if she looks like she's gonna fall, can I try to like?
Yeah, so she looks like she was about to do something really cool and then like stubbed her toe on the dismount and is about to just tumble out of the window. You can make a dexterity saving throw if you want to try to.
Hell yeah. So that's I got 16 plus 2, so 18.
Okay, yeah, you are able to just sort of just grab the back of her fancy red leather outfit and stop her from going over the edge.
Yeah.
That's not the way down.
And she kind of just looks at you and goes like, yeah, thanks.
So here's an estimation I'm making in my head. And it does kind of look like he's leaning to the side and looking at each of the three of them very confusedly. I'm trying to estimate exactly how much they weigh together.
Oh, the two rogues?
Well, the rogue that they're holding, I suppose, yes, there's 4 people, aren't there? Oh, that's going to be hard.
Yeah, because there's
Probably.
Braga and Orc Dave and the 2 rogues and you.
Orc Dave does have birds on his side. It's probably fine.
So while you're thinking about that,
Braga's gonna call over to the human and just be like, "Get on my back. We'll climb down."
all right, so we'll come back to that. Deuce, you have just managed to shove your way through and break out through that front fancy lobby to the steps outside. You are now outside the theater in the big entranceway. There's some fancy steps out there, and you do see that there are a couple of bored-looking city guards that sort of look up startled at you emerging so suddenly, but they're a good 30 feet away from you as you come out of the door.
Okay, I'm going to break in whichever direction seems to be the furthest from them.
Okay.
If they are slightly to my left, I'll break right. If they're slightly to my right, I'll break left, and just head off through the gardens. It's
All right.
it's nighttime now, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try and get around. Like, I'm gonna help for like a corner or something to break their line of sight, and then try and find a place to hide.
Okay. Yeah. So you're able to sort of get around the corner and break their line of sight pretty easily. And the garden has a lot of topiary and shrubbery and hedges and stuff like that.
I'm gonna hide in a shrubbery.
All right. So make a stealth check.
Thank you, Roger. 19.
All right. Yeah. So you have hidden inside a shrubbery. All right. So
Nice little path in between.
yes. Yes, you have hidden inside a shrubbery. The Braga. So you're planning to have what, one or the other of these 2 rogues?
Right. Just and I offer it to the guy because he looks the worst for wear, and I know I'm strong. So
Yeah, he definitely looks like the weaker of the 2. Like normally he would be pretty sharp, but even magically restored a little bit, he's had a rough few days.
Yeah. And I just look at the woman and go, "Let's try that again, where the ground doesn't try to trip you."
Like, there's honestly only a 5% chance of me stubbing my toe like that.
I
Never tell me the odds.
I saw it jump up and like try to grab your ankle, so I totally get it if it happens. So
Yeah.
I'll carry him. I'm sure you've got this.
Okay, so go ahead and make an athletics check to try to, start climbing down with it. Because you're so strong, it's not going to be at disadvantage.
So athletics, I rolled a 13. I've got an 8 for athletics, so
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
21.
Right, you definitely make your way down. Start making your way down the side of the building. I mean, it's not designed for this. It's not like a ladder, but there's definitely things that you could sort of get a handhold on. It's sort of old masonry, so there's
Right.
various places that, you know, it's slow going to find the various hand and footholds, but you can manage.
And I'm just like, I haven't had to do this much since I started doing bardic work. This is terrible.
And
Meanwhile, I'll walk to the edge of the window. I'll look down. I'll spin around. It's not so far, but you see disastrously Orc Dave as Galen is unbalanced. He starts to flail and falls over the edge.
so yes, Orc Dave, what do you do as you see Galen topple over the lip of this window?
You hear a slight giggle.
I hope you can fly. And I'm gonna follow behind Braga and try to climb my way down.
Okay. Make an athletics check.
Dice don't fail me now. Wasn't a 1, but it wasn't good either.
Couldn't wait till I got all the way down.
Nah. A 9?
Okay. I think what we'll do with a 9 is that you don't fall. You're just having trouble finding the hand and footholds. So you're trying to climb down. It's going really slow. You don't get very far. That's how we'll kind of resolve that 9. So I kind of know what's going on with Galen, I think. But you want to fill everyone in what they see after you tumble out the window?
Well, he rolls. The staff goes wide, kind of whacking against the side of the building, kind of getting this uncontrolled, really graceless fall. And then it continues to roll onto the ground, standing up and dusting himself off.
So is this the slow fall thing, or
Yeah.
yeah? All right. So technically, it would be 10 damage that you would be reducing. So
I reduced it by 25, so.
Yeah. All right. You're good. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of a dramatic thing. So I think the yeah, and the Lady Rogue is doing fine too. But as he is hanging over your shoulders, Braga, this rogue has kind of started humming this song under his breath again.
Can I try to hum something counter to it?
What are you trying to do?
I want to try to hum something counter to it.
Okay.
Just
Like-
not like a spell, just as a trying to disrupt it for him.
Okay, like to just distract him?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm humming the Imperial Death March. It gets any song out of your head. It's great.
Sure. Yeah, make a performance check. If it's high enough, then you don't have to make a wisdom saving throw. How about that?
Okay. Well, I got a +10 to performance, so
Okay.
That's a 26.
Nice. Yeah. So you hear him start to kind of hum it, almost just like not even aware he's doing it, but your own song is just enough of a distraction that he interrupts himself. Yeah.
And I do it very melodically.
Yeah. So I think that since she rolled high enough and she's not carrying anybody, that the Lady Rogue gets back to the ground before anyone else who is climbing. But she just takes off. She's just running for it.
Am I about 20 feet off the ground yet?
I think that maybe by now you're maybe halfway down, so about 20 feet.
I'm just gonna jump down now. I'll just drop down.
All right. That's going to be 7 falling damage.
That's fine.
All
I'm
right.
going to keep pace with Lady Rogue.
Okay. Yeah, I think you can run faster than she can if you're willing to use dash action, because that's what she's doing.
So why are you running away now? We should probably talk about that song.
What? What song? What song?
You know the
Leave me
one.
alone. What are you guys even doing here?
You know what people are looking for, and we're also looking for people to know that they're looking for. Somewhere along the way that lost sense, but you know what I mean.
Well, if you're going to follow me, then at least shut up so we can hide.
Okay.
And she is not stopping in the gardens. She's making her way out to like a further block and getting around the corner and kind of getting into the shadows. And she's going to try to. You're able to. She looks like she would probably still try to outpace you, except she is unable to. But she ducks you around the corner there. But in the meantime, what are you doing, Braga and Orc Dave doing?
I'm gonna follow them.
Okay, so I think if you're
Braga is gonna be like, hey dude, we're not going to be running, right?
and he kind of just says, we're not safe here.
Okay. Run stealthily, and I will follow.
And so he, are you guys all running off in the same direction as she went?
Indeed.
Okay, so I think you probably you're following, but she's still a ways out, and it's just that Galen seems really fast and seems to be easily able to catch up with her sprinting. So the rest of you are following, but so Galen, she seems to have made her way around this corner and held somewhere and looks at you a little irritated and just says, "You're really fast."
That's okay. A lot of people are slower. You know what this really calls for? This calls for a drink. Can I share?
She definitely. What is it?
It's a very cheap one.
She's like, all right, well.
It's enough to make sure that you don't feel any of the running anymore.
Yeah, maybe. Hands it back to you after a second sort of swig. And then she just kind of says, "Look, we're not supposed to talk to anybody. We're supposed to just stay hidden. I don't know what you guys are doing, but you led the guards right to us."
Yeah, they would have found you eventually. You were literally behind the play.
We had all of the theater workers on our payroll, but then you brought the guards.
They would have also found you. Because you don't have that much money. And while the theater doesn't pay a lot, I'm pretty sure that other people looking for what's inside your head probably will.
I don't.
Can you tell me what happened? Why do you have that song? You know the one. Let's start to hum the song. I've heard it.
And so as you do, her eyes just kind of go glassy a little bit.
That's the one. It's a big hit around here. Hello?
What?
It
What?
normally only happens to me after a few more of these flasks.
Oh, sorry. I'm just. It's hard to think. I just.
Can you tell me where you heard the song? Yeah, right now. Because you just heard it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't remember hearing it. It's kind of just stuck in my head, and like, I don't know why. Every time I hear it, it makes me think of these adventurers we ran into a few weeks back.
Can you tell me all about them?
Well, I mean, we were tailing them because they were able to get into the city without showing any papers, and but we didn't catch up with them first. There was other gang members there. Sorry, my head kind of hurts when I think about it.
Another drink. It might lead to another headache, but at least you'll have earned it.
I think the rest of you are probably running, trying to follow, but because she kind of ducked into a hiding place, I think you're probably running past her, past them. So are you finding your own hiding place? You kind of basically go around a corner and you realize you don't see her or Galen.
Sure. And I will send a message to Galen, be like, "Where are you?"
I'm right here.
What's the range of message?
Message range is
'Cause it's not like sending.
spell.
I think you have
Message
to.
is 120 feet.
Okay, but don't you have to? You have to point your finger at them. You have to see them.
Yep.
Oh,
it-
this is true.
It's a targeted spell.
Sorry, that's why sending is the one that works better.
Gotcha.
Well, but it's also sending is third level spell, I think, not a cantrip. But anyway, so yeah, I think that you've kind of temporarily been separated at least.
Does this sound like we're being followed?
As you guys, take a moment to look back, there do seem to be there seems to be a lot of activity in the gardens now, but you don't see anyone like pursuing you past the gardens at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna take a moment to see if I can see where the rest of my ragtag crew is.
All right, so you can make a survival check to see if you can track where they went. If you're all looking, you can make it with advantage.
Okay. 13, 17.
Well, off the desk.
So what kind of check is it?
Survival.
Survival?
It's
Okay,
whiz.
18.
It's okay.
18.
I was an urchin on these streets. I know them. I've got a 22.
Okay, yeah, I think now that you're kind of glancing around, you're able to put yourself in the mindset of, small, running from guards, trying to find somewhere out of the way, and I think that you guys are going to catch up shortly. But so in the meantime, Galen, you're still with this lady rogue, and she's just saying I can't get these people out of my head, and I don't know why. But the song makes me think of them, I guess. My brain just feels like it just turns to mush every time.
Do you remember when you heard it the first time?
No, I mean, it just feels like it's just stuck in my head. And I think about then is when, like, the rest of the group kind of enters the alley, and so, you guys would see them and probably be willing to step out of the shadows that you were hiding in.
I'll kind of slouch out,
Okay.
fall down to one knee. Oh, it's good to see you all. We took a wrong turn, but we're okay now.
You both are pretty speedy.
I stretch.
The two rogues kind of hug each other in kind of a weary embrace, and they're kind of checking each other to make sure neither is hurt.
I think we should get them back to somewhere, to one of our safe houses, and see if we can find a high level or a higher level magic user. There's some sort of, I don't know if it's a curse or if it's some sort of hex, but there's some magic about them that I can't touch.
I think they kind of say, if it's just the same to you, and perhaps if it's not, we'd rather go to one of our own safe houses.
That's not gonna be an option.
If it's anything like the theater, then it's not really a great idea.
Well, we're not going to. This theater was perfectly safe until you showed up and brought the guards.
If it was perfectly safe, how did we find you?
If I can find you, then anybody can find you.
Doesn't matter. Still not going to your gang's base. Or home. Whatever you weird card people do.
We
What if we took you to a temple?
Look,
A
the
temple?
Rouge Rogues have our own clerics. We have our own magic users. We can take care of it.
And
Nobody asked you
clearly
here.
And clearly, they are not helping you. Because they are using you instead. Otherwise, they would have lifted this affliction from you the moment they noticed it.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, clearly neither do you.
Maybe not, but we're not going with you. And that's
Well,
all there
we
is
want
to
to
it.
help you.
We got to know what the song is because we can hear it now. If we can hear it, then so can a lot of other people. And everybody who hums the song is going to make your head explode.
And so, yeah, I think Dew says you make another wisdom saving throw.
Who?
Juice.
Yeah.
You're muted,
You're-
Nobilis.
19.
Okay, yeah, so once again, you kind of just hearing the song talked about, you sort of have an impulse to want to sing it again, but you are able to hold it in.
You might even say it was induced pain.
It's like, all right, this is some really strange stuff. I think that I don't want to have anything more to do with this.
What do you people even want? You say you want to help us. We don't trust you.
All right.
What are you looking for?
No, guys. Let him go.
Not until we get the information that we want and help these people.
What information? You know, we've
We
got
don't
all
want
the
your help.
information.
We don't want your help. Leave us alone.
All right, I'm leaving.
So are you just abandoning the mission? Because
No,
were
I am going to report. You guys are going to get in trouble. I'm going to go make my report, so I'm leaving.
what are you going to report? We don't have any information.
Okay, go ahead. Yep, go right ahead. I have enough information to make a report. It won't be a good report. It won't be a complete report, but it's better than hanging around, getting the way you guys are. You're gonna, yeah, you guys are in company.
If no
so.
one is going to make a move to stop them, they're just going to take off at this point.
No,
I'm gonna
Braga will block their path.
Okay. They look annoyed and just kind of said, "We stopped fighting when you asked us to, but we will not go back to your safe house. If you want to come to ours, fine. But we're
Why don't
not walking into some tarot den."
Why don't we go to an ale house instead?
Indeed.
This we should agree on.
Neutral ground.
Indeed, a neutral alehouse.
Right, where this weird reality warping visions that are happening can affect all the people in the house, and
Well-
you guys can attract attention, and the guards will say, "You know what? That's really weird. I'll bet that's what we're supposed to be looking for."
And I'm
Dude,
pretty
quiet.
sure, and I'm also pretty
Why?
sure, and I'm also pretty sure the one that was doing that was the lady who tried to use it on us earlier,
No, yeah, I'm out.
who's in the play.
Besides, it's getting late, and and I think we've taken this about as far as we can.
Yeah. I think that these two rogues are going to disengage away from you, Braga, and make a run for it.
I think it's time for a change in perspective. And I ran with the lady. She seemed nicer. So I'll cast Levitate on her. So she floats 20 feet up in the air.
Did she get a saving throw?
No, I don't believe so.
I think if it's a non-willing creature, I think they get a saving throw.
Just sort of check here. Nope.
An
Oh, sorry,
unwilling
no.
creature,
I see.
gets a Constitution save.
It wasn't listed in the same way in the description. It's just listed as attack save. So yes,
Okay.
they get a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, so she gets an 18.
Then she succeeds.
All right. Yeah, she suddenly sort of drifts off her feet a little bit and then just powers through it and just sort of manages to push through the area of effect.
Let's see. Do I have anything?
Well, I know that Deuce doesn't want to pursue this, but clearly there's something wrong, and I can't just stand by and let it be. So I'm going with them.
Okay, you're going
Do
to.
I?
All right.
Oh,
No,
we're
go
going
ahead.
for another run? I can do that.
So I'm just going to, because we're running late. The way this all happens is that you guys are pursuing. You manage to follow them a few blocks, and then they duck down an alley. And you guys, when you turn around the corner, you find yourself face to face with about 7 people in bright red leathers all aiming their bows at you.
You're welcome. They're safe home now. We'll be leaving.
Yeah. The bows stay out until you guys walk away.
Alright. And then we go, we report back that they're kind of like possessed or something, and
There's this song, and I start to hum the song.
no!
Yep. And that's actually where we'll end.
Infection vector number 1.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Patient 0.
All right. So.
Freaking song zombies, man. You have to go and ruin songs for me.
Songsies.
Well, yep. But yeah, that was fun though.
Yeah.
Good job, you guys. You managed to extract most of the information you needed. I mean, it's like to the extent that it was an unclear sort of task, like what specific information. But yeah, but I think you guys got enough detail to really be able to sort of put it together.
Oh, what did those crazy legends do?
So I'm guessing, like the last time, this ties in with the main storyline.
Yeah, it's a little less direct because the main party hasn't been through here in a few weeks, but certainly these figures that everyone saw in the vision.
Well, let's
That's
hope they
them.
don't watch this episode, otherwise they might have spoilers!
Oh, that's fine. They can watch it. It's but it is sort of, it's meant to be ominous foreshadowing. Dun, 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 dun.
It is really late. I am going to go.
Yes, but
Be
thank
careful.
you everyone for playing, and those of you who watched in live on Twitch, and if you're watching later or listening, thank you for that, and we'll be back next week for more adventure on so many
So
levels.
many levels.
Good night.
See you guys.
Ah!